I see that link.
Okay, so click on that, and you should see yourself at the top of the profile.
So should I look on it on my phone, or should I look
on your
on
phone?
it
On your phone, yeah.
I see Nancy, Deb, yeah, and then I see us, yeah, right over top of her.
All
right,
well,
we see it live.
That's where you guys have been broadcasting to the whole audience this entire time. So cool.
Okay, so do you want me to go ahead and just send it to my email and just continue on that way if you want?
I'll send you guys the newest link of where I'm hanging out, and then yeah,
you send us the newest link whenever you want us, and we're there for you.
All right, thank you. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we're on the new profile.
Have fun.
So we are live on the next channel. I didn't want to drop the signal in between so that we didn't know where to go. The destination is Brian Shulman's channel.
I'm live with Brian. I don't hear anybody though. Where's somebody? Where's somebody? Am I by myself on Brian's profile? Can you guys see me on Brian's profile? Am I getting a yes? Am I getting a hell yes? Brian. So, okay, I just want to make sure y'all can see me on Brian's profile. Hanging out here because I don't see it right now. Okay, where are we live? We are here. Boo. Brian, you got a lot of followers, buddy. All right, so I'm taking full screen. All right. So we are up to hour 4 now. What are we up to by now? We're in the third hour. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we have another guest in-house joining us. I'm going to take a 1-minute break to go to the restroom. While we do that, Jason, you want to hop on with us for a second? And then we're going to do a quick owl call. Let's do it. Right now, let's check.
Brian Shulman, where are we,
Brian, he's providing us with the stream.
Brian?
But yeah, go ahead, take it over. And I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick because I'm still human.
Is Brian with us right now?
Is Brian with us?
Okay, well, we're gonna go right to an owl call then, and then maybe Ish or Danielle will join me. Okay, who should we call on here? We're gonna call Jennifer.
Look at Johnny eating right here.
It's covering it.
Can you get rid of the notes?
What's up, Ish?
How you doing, man?
Everything is going well. Everything is going.
Be American.
Sure is.
All right. We've got
okay,
Nancy.
Ish.
Did we pull it off?
Oh, there's Nancy. What's up, Nancy?
Ah,
I thought we were going to Brian. Now we're back to Nancy. What's going on?
Well, Brian is finishing a phone call. He'll be on as soon as he's able to. But we wanted to move channels so that we could stay in one place for a long period of time. So we're here now, and this is where people can follow the amazing wisdom and honesty, vulnerability, and people sharing of themselves in the comments, as well as what's coming from these amazing people who are sharing their expertise, wisdom, and experience and helping us grow as humans.
Definitely. Nancy, I think your mic is slightly too loud if you want to just...
Oh,
you got to come closer. You got to come closer. There we go. Now I can hear both of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, Nancy. We like loud people. We're from New York, right?
Yeah.
It's the New Yorker in me. I have to remember to whisper. I'll do
New York,
that.
No one's like you're on too much Celsius, too much energy, or Starbucks, of course, in my world. Do that daily. But,
I actually don't drink coffee. It's incredible. I get shamed for it all the time. Actually, people are like, you don't drink coffee? No, I don't.
I wish I was at that level. I was like that back in the day. I did not drink coffee until I think 27, 28, when I had my first child. I got addicted because Dunkin' Donuts was giving $1 coffees away. And it went from like a coffee here and there, like those fun lattes with foam on top. And then all of a sudden, these $1 coffees came around. I moved to South Florida. And when it's 90 degrees in South Florida, nothing's more refreshing than a nice iced coffee. And I happened to move down here when they were doing this special for $1. I'm like, it's only $1. And then all of a sudden turned into a daily habit. And unfortunately now I'm a crack addict when it comes to coffee.
Well, and the Dunkin' cups, the large, they're like, if you've not gone to Dunkin' before and you order a large, just be ready for a trough of whatever it is you're getting. Like I went through the drive-thru and I was like, okay, great, let's get a large. And I was like, oh, okay, it's very generous.
Cool. Well, I think we have an owl caller. Hooting on the other side.
Who do we got now?
Is that Trisha?
Is that Trisha?
It is.
Oh,
Well, hey, what's going on, family?
What's the dish, Trish?
Well, life is good, is all I have to say. It's Friday, so it's my Friday. And I'm just enjoying. I just want to chill and get through it and then start working on the weekend. So, how about all of you?
Speaking of getting through it, I still got 22 hours left. And energy is still high, believe it or not.
We are putting her raffle in the bin. Trisha,
raffle in the
Oh my
bin
gosh.
for the win.
So, Trisha, tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Well, first, thanks for the call and reaching out. It's always good to hear from you, Jason, and just the team. And what I do is not who I am. So, what I do is
I like
I'm a
that.
film, television, and live events producer, and I work in arts and entertainment and in Hollywood. So, that is what I do. Who I am is just a person that loves to connect, network, enjoy people, and help them in the journey. So, that's what I do.
Ooh,
And this is
Nancy
who I
lives near
am.
you. Where do you live, Trisha, again? And where do you live, Nancy?
Cali.
Where in Cali?
We're at SoCal in the house, Los Angeles area. Where are you?
Beverly Hills.
Oh, we're practically neighbors.
Look at that.
Well,
Look at that. The
hello,
power
neighbor.
of OWL connecting you two, right?
Okay. Well,
know.
yes, the power of connection.
Nancy, go ahead and ask
Truly.
her a question. Now you heard a little bit about what she does.
I did. I heard a little bit about what you did, and I'm curious. In terms of building connections and building your business, what has been the most effective ways that you have found?
Great question. Thanks for asking it. It is actually reverse engineering. I present and I learn the business from the inside out instead of the outside in. So I had an advantage in the sense of having mentors and people that I immediately connected with. I told them what I desired. They saw what I could do. And then in turn, they had me go ahead and start a business, which I was really frightened to do because I thought I would fail because I looked at the stats to, statistically how businesses work in the first few years, or even if they can make it. So what I did was I went to my experts, my owls in a sense. I asked them, how did you do it? Show me the who, what, when, where, why kind of philosophy. And that was advantageous for me because I had a firm and good foundation. And since then, they'll give me those little tips, tricks, because as we know, my industry is changing a great deal due to AI, due to strikes that are currently happening, so many things. So what I try to do is with that knowledge, now I can help other people build any kind of business because the principles are the same.
So I
So
have a
that's
question.
really how I've gone about it.
I have a question. When you say
Certainly.
most people approach, and forgive me, I'm going to be eating a lot during these 25 hours.
That's okay. Enjoy.
Thank you. When you say most people do from inside out, you do outside in. Can you break down that?
It's the reverse of that.
I'm
I
sorry.
said the reverse.
So can you kind of like dismantle what that means exactly? What does it mean to do that?
Well, what I do is I look at trends. I look at what's happening in my industry. I talk to people about it. They can see my skill set, what I bring to the table, and then therefore they can tweak what I need to do. And then what I'll do is I barter with them. I'll help them out. If they need certain things within my industry, like as a producer, I bring in the cash flow. I bring in the monies to finance projects. And therefore, I can trade those skills. And so that's been helpful. But what I do is I use practical things, I can't share everything that I do because it would be a disadvantage to me. And I don't mean that in a like I'm hoarding something or taking away, but there are things that in order for me to progress, I don't always share with other people.
So just as a marketer, because I'm here to like get the most value out of my audience. As a marketer, I'm having a little bit of a challenge, like really understanding your offer at its macro level, right? Because I think that in marketing, sometimes people will say like blanket statements, like inside out, outside in. But then when it comes to the actual explanation of the offer, what captured my attention was when you shared that, you'll barter, when you'll find financing for businesses. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear as a marketer, because I'm looking
Right.
for, and of course, we don't want to give away our secret sauce, but we also understand that with social media, we live in an information economy, and people have so much access to information. So what I found working with so many business owners is the more vulnerable we can be about what it is that makes us special. You don't have to give away your proprietary method, because most people will reach out to you to get a customized offer, right? Something that is going to work for them specifically, right? So they'll consume your content that you're using to promote yourself, but then they'll say, hey, listen, I don't want to go through this entire process. Can you do it for me? At which point we get involved.
Right.
So I'm a big believer in actually giving it all away. I don't hold anything back. I will give you the entire book. If you watch all of my videos, you will be able to do what I do better than me, right? But the catch is you got to consume all my content, or I could do it for you, and it's going to save you a lot of time. So what is it about your proprietary method that you feel resistance to holding back with?
Well, I can see what you're saying, and that works with what you do. With what I do, it's a very small industry, and it's a clickage industry. And so when I'm on a project, there are things that I have to present in example where we'll have a pitch deck, in example where I'll have a lookbook, in example where I'll have a script, or I'll have a beat sheet which breaks down a project.
Right.
And when I want to go ahead and give that to someone, they have to sign an NDA, and I just don't hand that out. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, because they could take that and they could have that project now, say that it's theirs, and then I've lost revenue. And that happens in the industry a lot, and in all the entertainment industry. So I can coach a person. I can say, you're going to need those things in order to get a pitch meeting, because that's very important, where they pitch their product. But you have to know how to get past the doorkeeper in these industries and things.
Right.
Because if you don't have a track record, and you can have all this media, you can have the greatest script in the world, but if you can't get it to the right people, it's a nothing. It just doesn't go too far.
Right.
So that's why I have a method of doing it, and I barter, because part of my networking is, if I gave you a thumbs up, then that means you've got the goods and everything. So I'm always very careful about doing that. So I hope that makes better sense.
It
to you,
does.
then.
It does.
I
It
appreciate
does. And Jonathan, it's a brilliant question, because what it highlights is it's different for every industry, right? There's different,
Absolutely.
right? As a coach, I'm listening to that, and I'm like you, I give it all away. I give it all away. I do my chick tips all the time. You want to know? Here it is. But, it's not the same for every industry. So before we judge, like, oh, she doesn't give her stuff away.
Gotta jump in. Yep.
Yeah, it's really helpful to understand the dynamics of a different industry that I wasn't aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I appreciate the questions and everything. And every day's different. What I learn in my industry is pivot and switch. What I learn in my industry is reputation is everything, and that you can still give away a lot, but you have to be careful of what you're giving away. And you can also devalue yourself in the process too. So I'm very careful with my reputation, who I am and who I work with, that whatever they receive, it's top notch, and it's not like everybody else's, but I have to protect it. So that's kind of how I at least work within the industry.
We got 15 seconds left. So
Thank you,
Trisha,
Thank you so
guys,
much.
gals.
Loved your responses. Thank you.
can you join
Thank
the
you,
wrap?
Trisha.
And you as well. Take care. Be well, everybody.
You as well.
Okay. We have a guest in our studio. He is the CEO of Tint World. Yes, he is matching our color tones. Is absolutely awesome. Charles Bonfiglio, and he is. What are you up to now? 100 locations? What are you at?
Just under 140 right now, and growing. We have about 170 in development, so we have more in development than we even have open right now. We're growing very quickly.
Wow. And what do you think has been the key to you being able to open so many locations? What do you think it is?
Well, it's been a long grind to get to where we are. So once you get to over 100, you get recognized. You see a successful business model that's predictable, and so when that happens, that's when everybody wants in.
Right. No, I can imagine. Now, I want to ask you, because as a marketer, I find it fascinating. There's a lot in a name, and I think that it's like an undervalued part of a business and branding. Did you come up with Tint World? Like, where did that come from? What's the origin story?
I did not come up with the name, but when I heard it, I had to have it.
You had to have it. Tell me about that. What was it that kind of like inspired you?
Well, it's just that there's always something in a name. And so, the company started in 1982 by someone else. And over the years, they built about 6 stores. And I came down to Florida early on, and I saw that this business was pretty good. And I started to bring my car into Tint World. And I just said, wow, this is really good. And I've been in the franchising world in another brand. And then when I was ready to actually create my own franchise, I said, rather than start from scratch, let me call up this guy. I like this brand. I think I can expand upon it. I love the name. Let me take him out to lunch and see if I can make a deal. And I did. I took him out to lunch, and next thing you know, within a month, we had a deal struck where I bought his company, the 6 locations and the brand. And I just converted to a franchise within a year. And I just went off to the races and sold the first few on 2007. And every year after, I didn't want to go too quick. I wanted to go a few a year because I wanted to make sure that I get the brand and the system down right. And when people can invest, they can go in, they can be predictable. I can get them to up and own and profit. And so by 2019, I think we built out the brand pretty well, had a great team that was actually behind me, running the operations, doing the marketing, doing the operations, the training, the field support, everything that we do. And at that point, it was time to really scale up. And so right about 2020, right before the pandemic, I just started putting the plan together. Who knew? But we got lucky. We got lucky because we were deemed an essential business, and that allowed us to continue to grow during the pandemic. And we got recognized for even that. Sales went up 30% that year instead of getting hurt. So with that, we started to get a lot more people buying in. They wanted to do something. They were losing jobs. Companies were closing.
Right.
They wanted to do something. So they grabbed onto us, and we between 2020 and 2021, between 2020 and 2021, I believe we sold about 100 locations.
Oh my God! So you are like the Ray Kroc of tinting, window tinting, yeah?
I guess you can call it that.
Okay,
yeah.
so I think that I've got so many questions for you, but I guess like the first one is, what you and correct me if I'm wrong, but what you have built is a movement. I consider it a movement. When you can get that many people behind an idea, that is a movement that you've created. What do you feel has been the way that you motivate people to get behind your belief in this idea? How do you get people behind you?
I think I care more about my franchisees and my team than I do about making money. It's I already made money. I was in franchising for 35 years before I actually started this. And so when I started, it was about, I had a dream. I felt, this is a cool business. There's no other franchise like it. There's a lot of mom and pops that do different things, but nobody wraps it all up into a full system. And so at that point, I built this thing, and next thing you know, there were a lot of people that wanted it and liked it. When I was 21 years old, I wanted to build an aftermarket accessory brand. And I had a tough time getting it going, and I found franchising, but they didn't have anything like this. So I actually joined another franchise in the auto repair industry, and I did really well with them. I built 10 stores. I started buying the property, the real estate. So I did very well. But then at around, like maybe 2005, I was ready to build more. And I went over to my wife and I says, Jeanette, I just don't want to build any more of these. She goes, what do you want to do? I said, before I get too old, I want to build the brand I always dreamed of. And I think if I want it, other people are going to want it too. And that's how I really just went in and I started thinking about what am I going to do? How am I going to start it? And that's when I saw Tint World. I knew it. I just figured, let me reach out and see if they're willing to sell it. I think I can make something out of this thing. It's, I love the brand. I love the name. It was, it was built on a shoestring budget. So I knew that I can take it and really mold it and expand the services and the brand, the marketing, the system. And that's what I did. Everything I learned from my former franchise, I took and I implemented everything that they did really well. The things that I felt as a franchisee, they could have done better. I put my money where my mouth is and I built it into the system. And here we are. I'm really pleased with the way things turned out. I have a great franchise family. My franchise family of owners, they come first and they know it. And I think that really helps. And I'm always coming up with something new. It's always a matter of evolving the system. We have new kiosks, we have self-serve kiosks. You go into a store, you can literally pick out what you want and they can understand it. So it lets people really get involved with the purchases of the accessories, aftermarket stuff.
That is amazing. We can't skip this without talking about your intuition. You must have very, very strong intuition, because for somebody to identify an opportunity in the market, put your money where your mouth is, right? And then go all in on it. And even the way that you've innovated the business and you always keep your franchises excited about the next thing. Tell me more about that intuition. Like, where does that come from? Like, how do you know an opportunity is a good one?
Well, I think it comes from a lot of things. I learned from very young when I was a teenager. My dad had a business, and I went into his business, and I just wanted to learn every job that he had, from sweeping the floors to fixing machines to doing pattern making. It was a women's clothing factory, so I wanted to learn everything. And what I did is, Dad, how much does that guy make? Well, I want to learn that. Well, how about that guy? Well, he makes more. I want to do that. And I just learned everything in the business, and that made me understand his business because I wanted to learn all the obstacles of how do you make money and what's this all about. From that point, I learned a lot from my dad and his business, but that was his. I wanted to learn something that I can be passionate at. And at a teenager, I loved cars. I used to build custom car audio in my cars, lighting and everything, custom wheels. And I got known for it. People used to say, you should do something with this. Never really thought I should or would, but at 21 years old, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I want to move down to Florida, palm trees, nice cars, pretty girls. I want to go down to Florida. I want to build a custom car shop. And that's what I came down. And when I came down here, I tried to lease locations for my business. The landlords didn't want to lease to me. That business. We were looking for existing businesses that are already established. I went to the bank to get a loan. I had some money, but I needed more to build the business. And they were like, no, we don't have any loans for that. And then I found franchising. And what does franchising do for you? It gives you a blueprint. It gives you a system that you can operate with, a proven model, training, support. Most importantly, they help you get a location and a lease. They help you get funding and financing, the special loans from the government, SBA loans. And they get everything that I wanted. So once I started to get those things, I'm like, it's not the business that I want, but I can build this. And then in the future, I'll build what I want. And it was in the back of my mind. It wasn't committed. It was just like, maybe in the future. So I opened up a store and, I started to do really well. And then I got married to my wife. And after about a year in, I go, hon, we have a townhouse. We got married, went on a honeymoon. I said, I came down here and I want to really get a nice new car. I left New York driving a Corvette. I sold it, took that money to build a business. Came down in Florida. I was driving a 4-year-old Ford EXP. Not too proud of it, but that's what I did to get into business.
Right.
So I said, it's time. I really want. I says, I want to buy a brand new Corvette. She says to me, Charles, we're doing really well with this one business. You're doing phenomenal, but if you want that, you probably want to open up another one of these. I go, okay. I called up my franchisor. I says, I need another license. And they sold me another license. I opened up the next one. And once you do one, the next one was even quicker. Like it was like half a year into it. And I told my friend, we're doing just as well in this one as we are the first one. Can I buy the car now? She goes, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, you got the car back.
And we had a trust fee. Listen, I was sales, marketing, operations. She was the back end office doing all the payroll and all the stuff. She knew when we were able to do it. And that's how we did it. I did it. And one after the other. Every time I wanted something new, I wanted to develop real estate. Now it's like a couple of years after that. I says, Jeanette, I says, we got the first, the second, we're doing really well. I said, we're getting some money. I think I want to buy real estate and build the next building, own the property. I think that's the way to go. And she says, Charles, we're doing really well. First
sounds like the same story every time. We're doing really well.
But I think that if you want that, you might want another one of these. And I'm like, okay. I called my franchise. I want another license. I'd build another license, another revenue stream. And that's what it was all about, building multiple revenue streams. This was for the family. This one was for the cars and the travel and the fun stuff. And this one was for my investments. And I felt really good about it because I wasn't tapping into anything that was ours to run the family. And so that's how we did it. And I went all the way through. I wound up building about 10 franchises, owning a bunch of properties. I started selling off the ones that I didn't own the property to, just to take more money to buy more properties. And then about 2001, I opened my biggest store, which was about 18 service bays and 10,000 square feet. It was by far the biggest one in my franchise. And I was breaking records. It was the first franchisee to do over $1 million in the first year. I was the first franchisee to do over $2 million. And with that, I just started getting momentum. Again, in life, you got to have momentum. You got to stick to what you're doing. You got to build the most of it. And when I was ready, where I didn't feel there was much room to grow, I could just do another one and be number one. How many times? I said, I got to do something new. And what was that I'm going to do? I want to build the business that I always dreamed of. And I think I can do it. And I think I can do it better. But I'm going to do it into franchising now because I know more. I know that other people are going to want this. And that's what made me build the franchise.
That is incredible. Now, a question that I have about franchising, and this might be a little bit unusual, but for people that are looking at franchising as just a passive investment opportunity, I feel like it probably wouldn't be a good idea, right? Like, I feel like you need to have some degree of passion. Like, could an IT guy buy a Tint World? An IT guy that's not great at communication, right? He's looking for passive income. Oh, franchising. That sounds like an exciting new opportunity. Would he be a guy that you would feel comfortable giving one of your Tint Worlds to? Or do you need them to have a little bit of fire, passion, and an ability to be in the business? Or can it be a passive IT guy with no social skills?
That is a great question because I've been asking myself that the whole time. but I got to tell you, it's really hard to pick winners and losers. They go through a process of learning about our franchise. It's this discovery process. I have salespeople, meaning operations people that actually work with leads that come in. They work with them anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks to learn about the model. And if they like it and they have the wherewithal to grow, we're able to have them come down and meet us on a discovery day. Discovery day is where someone is interested and they went through the process. They understand everything about what we do. They've had validation calls and video calls with other franchisees. They've had, they visited stores. And at that point, they want to come down and meet the corporate headquarters team. And when they do come down, they'll visit a few stores locally and see more. And then they'll come to the headquarters and they'll speak with my marketing director and my, COO, and he'll tell them how we market for you, how we help you get the location out, all the things they probably really want to know from somebody in person, mostly the culture of our brand to make sure it fits what they feel comfortable with. And from that point, if they're ready to go and we like them, we could meet them and it could be somebody that's very reserved, somebody that has been in IT, somebody that's been in the restaurant business. Most people that come in there from all walks of life. So you can't pick who's a winner and loser. Some people, when they leave, well, like, I don't know, did we do the right thing by allowing that?
Do they need to have leadership skills, though?
The most successful franchisees that I have are good leaders because our business model is not a matter of, it's not like a car, someone in a truck that's going to fix homes. You're not like your own worker. You're not buying a job. They're buying a business that you actually, you build your team and your team builds your business. And that's leadership. So when they trust, and see the vision of an owner of one of our stores, and that's when they get the best employees and they want to work. They want to have a good compensation program, a good leadership team, room for growth. That usually winds up to be the best. Now, there's people that came at Discovery Days and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that guy's going to make it. Should we sell him a license? Well, I don't know. How do we pick? And there's people that I didn't think were going to make it. And they're out of the park doing $1 million in sales in 1 or 2 years. I'm like, oh my God, thank God I don't pick winners and losers.
Right.
And some of the people you think, oh, this is going to be great. These two brothers, they're great. They're going to come in and they're going to be like top guys. And they come in and they fall.
Oh,
They fall. How do they fall? They're just not great operators. And don't get me wrong, we don't have a lot of like losers. I mean, we don't close stores. If we see it's not right for somebody, like, okay, if it's not right for you, let us help you sell it. Go find something that's better for you. But we really put all our time, energy, passion into helping them for 1-2 years. But if we see it's just not for them, and there's very few, I mean, like 2%, will help them get out. Where unlike other franchisees, that's only about getting them in. No. I want the people around me that are really cool and they really get it and they really want it and have the ability to grow. And if they don't, I don't want to treat them bad. I can still be friends with them. But I think I'm an advisor to them. I'm a coach. If it's not good for you, are you going to tell your child, no, you should continue being a lawyer when you fail every class?
Right.
You don't have any ethics and all
You need
that
to give
other
them
stuff.
some real life.
So you have to really be real with them, and hopefully you can get them to see it your way. But if you can't, you got to put them in the best spot that they could be in. And sometimes it's more work, but in the end, I have franchisees that are all empowered, and they know I got their back, and my whole team does.
Next question I want to ask you is about creativity, right? So, the franchise I know the most about is obviously McDonald's, right? Now, they must have been at the top, given them some flexibility to be creative, to create, the pineapple sandwich, the pizza, but they also had big hits like chicken nuggets and the Big Mac. Those were creative franchisees that said, you know what, why don't we try this thing in the market? Why don't we try that? So talking about Tint World, do you allow room for creativity, or do you like kind of keeping things more in the box? Do you allow that these independent franchisees to try different new ideas and see if they hit, or do you like keeping things kind of tight?
Well, that's a two-way street,
Mm.
because I really do want to. Again, I was a franchisee first. I was the guy that said, "Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that?"
Right.
So I
You get it.
I want
You
that, and I
get it.
get it, and I love it. Because you get some really good people with some great ideas. So what we do is we have what's called a test pilot program.
Mhm.
So if a franchisee wants to try something new, and we feel it's good for our brand, it fits in our scope. We can get good branding, good products, good distribution, and it's a profitable service we think we can really win the market with. Then we'll go ahead and put a pilot together with a few different franchisees, try it out, market the heck out of it, see if it works well. And if it does, then we'll share it with the rest of the franchise company, because, listen, they don't all want to be guinea pigs, and I don't want them to be, but some people really have a knack for really coming up with good ideas, but a lot of people come up with really not so good.
Right.
So it's hard to say
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
like, that's not so good, but again, it's one of those things that if you lead by example and you try to support them when they have a good idea, nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be mine. Usually is, but it doesn't have to be.
I love that. What keeps you motivated? I mean, now you've reached like 100 locations, and I mean, when it comes to like my followers, like after I hit 200,000, it stopped like mattering to me. I stopped paying attention to the number of followers I had. I'd imagine with you, once you start scaling to a certain point, it just becomes a numbers thing. So what keeps you motivated to continue to grow, and because motivation, it kind of comes and goes, but how do you keep it when you're already so successful?
Listen, it's if you don't keep on growing, not only in number of stores, in same store sales increases, in profitability for the owners, if you're not growing, you're shrinking. And how do you grow? You can't do the same thing all the time. You have to evolve. So I'm always thinking way ahead. I'm always thinking ahead on all kinds of things. And I belong to a lot of organizations, and by being part of these associations, I can learn what's coming up, what's coming down the pike as a leader. So I already know what's coming down 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Now, those things don't materialize. They could shift, but I'm already preparing for those things. So I want to already be able to be ahead of the game by doing my research ahead of time and building things and systems and trying them out, 18 months to 2 years before they actually happen. If you go too far out, 5 years out, it might not hit the target because things change. But 18 months to 2 years out, if you're ahead of the game by that much and you start trying things, you're way ahead and you lock it down. And it's really just something that I've lived with my whole life. I've always been a pioneer in different areas. What about if we do this? What about if we do it that way? I wonder if customers would try this. And that's really what it's all about. And again, to me, my mind is, as a franchisee first, it's like every single quarter, it's my job to deliver something new, something exciting, something that they know about, something that they always expect. Like, who wants to be with a boring person? You
Right,
want somebody to
right.
come out with something new, and they want to feel like they're evolving. So my job is, I have an IT team. I'm tasking them with stuff on the website, orders, online ordering, delivered to store. I have kiosk models that we're building in the store so people can self-order. I have Tint robots we're working on
Oh
for the
my
future.
gosh.
So there's a lot of cool things that we're doing always. Some things are in the near future, some things are far into it. But by keeping my team busy, not to mention all my staff in my headquarters, they love the ideas. They love what we're doing. You come into my place at any one given time in my office, there's all kinds of like testings. What's that over there? Well, we're working on something. There's always something. But again, I always want to deliver. And to deliver, you have to think ahead and try different things. And, at this point in my life, I put my money where my mouth is. I know what I want to do. I'm going to dabble and go into it and figure it out. And once I get it locked in at our annual franchise convention, I bring it up on stage. This is the new thing.
You are such a character. Have you done commercials or social media content or anything like that before?
Not professionally. I just do it because I love doing it. I love sharing the work of my franchise.
You are such a character. We need to get you more videos. You're a character, man. What part of New York are you from?
What makes you think I'm from New York?
Well, I lived in Long Island for 7 years,
Yeah.
so I was in Long Island, and you got that New York flavor.
I know. Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn. At 2 years old, my parents moved to Long Island. I went down to Farmingdale, Long Island.
What part? Okay. I was in Islip.
Oh, I live right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so after I was about 8 years old, my parents moved back to Brooklyn.
Mm.
And so that's when I grew up in Brooklyn up until I was 21 years old. So right in the middle of Bensonhurst. I grew up and, the best pizza, best, hanging out with friends on the corner in the schoolyard, all the stuff.
What's the key to good pizza? I hear it's the New York water. That's what they say. It's the water.
I don't know.
It's the pipes.
There's a couple of pizzerias. There's L&B. There's, there's Spumoni Gardens. There's, there's a few really good pizzas. And I wonder, why didn't they franchise that? One day I'm gonna have to go back there and just franchise. I have to tell you.
Maybe that's the next chapter of your career.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. So, is there any nuggets of wisdom that you could leave the audience with when it comes to? Because I feel like if there's anything that I got from this conversation is constant innovation. Constant innovation. What are some of the tangible ways that you're always looking to grow and evolve? Like, how can some people embody that? What can they do?
So the first thing is stay away from the shiny objects. There's so much out here right now, and they just jump all over. So I even have franchisees who have done that in the past. They're so excited. They love this franchise. They open up, they start really getting their thing. A year or so goes by and they're like, oh, I want to do that. And then they drops and they want to do this and they want to do that. You got to stay focused. I mean, it's nice to admire other people for doing other things, but you got to stay in your lane. You can do other things, but you got to keep your priorities straight. Focus on what your goals are and see it through. Even if it doesn't look like it's panning out right, just stay the course. You could look at other things, but minimize the amount of time you're putting into that and focus on what you're really good at. If you focus at what you're really good at and you stick to something, eventually it's going to pan out for you. I wanted to have car, audio, and accessory business. And I didn't get that when I wanted. I couldn't get it. It didn't work out for me. But I found something that was in the automotive industry that would give me knowledge. It would give me a roadmap. I would be able to build it. And I went as far as I can go with that brand. I built everything I could. And at that point, it wasn't a money thing. I already had the money. I already had the real estate. As I sold my stores, I had money coming in from the paid off real estate. So I was good. I didn't have to do anything else. I just wanted to live my passion. I tell you, that's another big thing. Chase the passion, not the money. If you chase the passion, you'll get good at what you do and the money will come. If you're always chasing the money, you're never going to really be good at anything because you're just going after money. And it's hard to say for someone that doesn't have it, but I didn't have it and I didn't chase the money. I always use that as a scorecard. Oh, I'm doing better. Look, okay, that's good. I don't even count the money. It's just like, okay, that's good. That's there. It's a matter of getting better at your craft. How do you expand? Always think about the multiple, revenue streams that you can create and the value you can create for others. The more people you help in life, the more wealthy you will be.
I love it. What a great way to end. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time so much. And it's you're one of my favorites so far just because you're not a social media guy, but you have all of the elements of a great marketer and like those Ray Krocs. It's just like they're so passionate. They have so much energy and they're just constantly looking for opportunities to grow. So if people want to reach you, how can they do so?
Well, you can follow me on LinkedIn. Everybody loves my crazy stuff. So what you get now is what you get there. But a lot of what I post is, my franchisees and different things are happening in my company. You could also go to tintworld.com. If you're a customer, we have a bunch of things to offer, everything for your car. We're doing home window tinting and commercial window tinting as well from a truck. And then we have tintworldfranchise.com, which you can get there from tintworld.com. And if you want to know more about the franchise opportunity, you can download the franchise kit, take a look. There's no pressure. We're just friends. Become a customer, become an owner, either way. But I really love franchising. So even if my brand is not right for you, find the right brand for you. People spend so much money on college not knowing what they want to do. That money you can put in owning a franchise and make money in a
Look at that. An unconventional way of making money, guys. And dude, don't get me started on that one. That's going to be for episode 2 because I got some feelings about that. All right, guys. Well, there you go. That's how to follow him. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Pleasure.
We are good. Oh, we're going to do a giveaway.
What is
Here
the
we
giveaway?
go. What is the giveaway?
No, it's coming from Charles. Every guest is giving something away because the final hour, 11 to 12 on Saturday, we're going to spin this wheel. And we're putting every guest who's giving away something, like a free mentorship session with them in person if they live in Florida, or of course on Zoom if they don't. And everyone gets a giveaway. What is your giveaway?
What is
Well, you are the one.
Let me see. How about a free tint job on your car?
Oh my God!
How do I get that? I have a brand new car. Oh my God!
Will you put a wrap on a car by chance?
Wait.
I happen to be.
I'm winning this one.
I happen to have gotten a new Genesis this weekend, and it could use an owl wrap. So
Oh, this guy.
co-brand.
Here
You
you
could be
go.
the featured sponsor of the Owl podcast with Tint World. We can throw Tint World and Owl on my car. But we are going with a free tint job. Okay, it's going in the
Free
bin.
tint job. Look at that, guys. Oh my gosh.
World. Well, he is in almost every state, so this is actually plays out pretty well.
That actually, look at that. All right, well,
Central free tints.
We have about
Oof.
140 stores currently right now in about 35 states, and about 170 in development that will be coming coming soon.
my gosh.
Machine.
There's going to be a window tint. I mean, there's going to be a Tint World and a Subway and on every corner, guys. Can't wait to see.
Charles on Owl. You know, it's not rocket science over here. Click him to go live. He's not live often because no one's clicking him to go live. But he loves, giving knowledge out, right? He comes to a lot of our past events. He walks around the crowd. Everyone picks his brain, and he wants to see, the next generation really grow. Right? He's got a lot of interns over at Tint World. He's got a lot of next generation leaders, right?
Absolutely. We're building teams and teams. We have some great people in every department we have.
Oh my
Well,
God, love it.
well, before he leaves, we gotta get someone on an owl.
Let's
It's only
get an
2:40.
owl
Our
call.
next guest isn't coming until 3:00, so Charles got to be part of the owl call.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, take over, my friend. Who do we got? And let's ask him some questions.
Okay. Let's see. Let us see who is available.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who do we got?
Oh, we're gonna call New Yorker.
New
gotta
Yorker.
call
There we
him.
Go
go.
New Yorkers.
This guy does mergers and acquisitions in New York. Runs a big networking group as well. I think he's president of something big in New York.
Murders and acquisitions. Let's hear from them.
Some big organization.
I hear from them every day.
I know, that's why I wanted to get a New Yorker on here. Okay, let's hope he picks up. Okay, let's keep. And I loaded you with more money. You ran out after calling Dominic. We called someone for $60, or you had $5 left. You didn't even know. You couldn't even call anyone.
They're making me go broke over here.
We could flip it around. You could go live and make people call you.
Yeah, I think we should start doing that. Like, let's. I know that in the end, I'm probably gonna break even, but maybe we should flip it
We're gonna
around.
start making some money. We're giving money out, calling people all the time.
You know what? That's what this is all about. This is like it's like a telethon, except we're in reverse.
Well, unfortunately, that New Yorker lost his chance.
Oh, one of the cardinal sins. Listen, guys, if you are live on Owl and you do not answer, I'm going to your house and spanking you. You cannot be doing that. If you are live, you better be answering. That is the rule. It's one of the Owl 10 Commandments. All right, so who's going to be Plan B?
Plan B. I know the missed call volume, so I always go after Plan B. Is always someone that, of course, picks up 100% of the time. So we're calling that individual.
I need to have one of
My
my
gut is right.
ex-wives sign up for Owl, and we'll take a call with her. Guaranteed to answer.
Okay, I think we got someone.
We got somebody.
We got someone. Deontay Bolden. Welcome to the Owl Podcast. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. You're here in the studio with myself, Jason Hill, Jonathan Palmer, and Charles Bonfiglio over at Tint World. I'm sure, is there Tint Worlds in Atlanta?
Yeah, we have one here.
Oh, yeah, they do.
It's like
So,
five.
Deontay, tell them a little bit about who you are. You're live on LinkedIn with hundreds of people in the audience, of course. So, go ahead.
Deontay, what do you do? Give it to us in
Yes,
2 sentences.
Yes, I'm Deontay Bolden, CEO of Deontay Bolden Productions, and I'm all about creating stories to inspire others and teaching others how to turn their stories into scripts as well.
So what does that mean specifically? Because I'm a marketing guy. When we say creating stories to inspire others, I'm looking for what is that specific offer? Like, what does that actually mean? Are you helping people write kids' books? Are you helping them write scripts to make a movie? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yes, so it's a script format. I'm really passionate about helping people to turn their stories, their life stories and experiences into scripts. A lot of people are afraid to share their stories or don't know how to go about it. So I work with a lot of authors and writers on, creating amazing dynamic characters and putting their stories and turning their stories into script writing format. I assist you from the outlining process to the finalization of actually filming the production as well.
So the gentleman that I was joining, he's the CEO of Tint World over here. He's a big innovator. Now, the question that I have for you is, with the rise of AI and platforms like ChatGPT, what are you doing to ensure that you can still provide a unique service that you don't have to worry about losing your business to AI? Because I mean, just like being honest, I feel like, man, if I could just plug this into ChatGPT, I could probably get it done faster. So what are you doing to kind of make yourself resistant to the rise of AI?
Really just creating my own experience. I feel like every person themselves, I was talking to a friend of mine, it's what you bring, the assistance, to your clients, the experience for your clients. For me, all of my clients enjoy coming to me because I really help them to see past all of the fears of sharing one story. For me, I also help a lot of my clients to see that they have more than one script inside of them. Some people try to put it all
That's
in one
good.
script,
That's good.
but I actually assist them through the process of saying, you got like 10 scripts right here. We can break it down. So that's the experience I provide for my clients.
Got it. You want to jump in as an innovator? Is there some advice that you could give to him to maybe expanding on this idea?
You're asking me? So
Yeah.
me, I mean, it's all about telling the backstory, because you can tell somebody what you're doing today, but if they know how you got there and what you went through to get there, I think it really helps. And it actually stitches everything together to make them feel that they can relate to you and that they can get there too.
I love that. Your hero's journey, your origin story, especially when it comes to, because like, at least for myself, the way that I was able to develop a business around what I offer, and I teach business owners how to make videos for social media. I had to go through the struggle myself. Let me ask you a question. Like, if you had two options, let's say that you want to start going to the gym and you want a personal trainer. You got two options. You have the Olympic level athlete that has always had 3% body fat, has always been in great shape, and has always had the genetics to be a great performer. They may have a hell of a work ethic because you don't end up on the Olympic stage without it, right? Or would you rather be trained by that person or the individual that 5 years ago they lost 500 pounds? They don't have the genetics, they don't have the god-given talent, but they've been able to identify a way to keep the 500 pounds off for years. I'd rather have that trainer than the Olympic level athlete, because I want to feel like it's somebody that has experienced something even worse than I have and was able to transcend the challenge. And I feel like businesses that are built around people going through the struggle themselves and conquering it and then being able to live to tell the tale and then have a solution to it, I just find that really useful in business. Any thoughts?
Yes, you're definitely talking my language. I love that because that's what my bold experience is about, helping people to see that you can fall, 10 times, but it's how you get up and it's how you use that to be able to push through whatever you do, because people want to hear about the experience, the testimonies, because it's easy to talk about how much we win, right? But I want to know about how many times you had to pick yourself up and,
Right.
pull yourself back together and keep moving. So I love that. You're definitely talking my language.
Yeah. You want to add anything else before we go?
Well, I would say that. I would like to say that I think that both are really important. Just like everything else, is stages in life. You want to learn, how somebody overcame these things and what you want to learn from them, and you can learn from that. That can teach you things. And then also, think of the professional. I mean, at one point I would like to learn what the professionals do as well. So they both have their
I
own
love
stories,
that.
and you really want to get a little bit of both.
I love it. I've never been challenged before. Everybody's just like, of course, when you have social media influence, everybody's like, you're surrounded by yes men. They're like, yeah, I know that. That sounds like a perfect response. And then this guy's like, John, the inner wisdom is there's value in both. And I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. All right, guys. So we're going to be hopping to our next stream. So Deontay, thank you so much for joining us. Beautiful solution. And we are going to be adding your profile to LinkedIn so that people can follow you. All right. And thank you so much for joining us. And we'll get on to our next stream. Thanks, guys. Hang on. Hang tight. All right. We're going to be switching. Good. Thank you so much. Yeah. That was great, dude. That was great. All right. We're switching, guys. So we're still going to be streaming live. No, yeah. We're still going.
I got you on. I'm not dropping you. You guys do what you need to do.
Still here.
I'm still here. Great conversations. There's so much wisdom being dropped. The idea of empowering people by helping them realize how important and inspirational their stories are, how many times you get down. My thing is, people ask me all the time, when they start with me as a coach, how many times do I have to do this? How many times do I have to get up? And, the answer is as many times as it takes. That's the reality.
Yes.
Because you're going to stand up and guess what? You're going to get knocked down again. Because if you're out there really living life and being human, that's the way it goes. and you got to keep picking yourself up. And as you've done, as I've done, and so many people here have done, share the ugly, snotty, and sexy parts of the journey. That's what inspires people, not seeing you at the end of it. Seeing you at the end of it, I know for me, I share my story about having been sexually abused until I was 15, anorexia, major depressive episodes, all, everything that came with it. And at 20 years old, thinking I was broken beyond repair and that I was never going to get past it, right? So I had to pick myself, something in me, thank goodness, said, I'm not giving him another minute of my life. And I picked myself up and I was like, oh, great, I did this. Mental wellness to me at that point was like, I achieved it. It's on the wall. There's my plaque. I'm good to go. As opposed to, okay, you've got to maintain it. And you've got to maintain, the chick with the tool belt is my thing, because you have to gather the tools so that when you end up there again, A, you can help yourself out, and B, you can pass the wisdom of the experience on to others. To me, it's knowledge when you know it. When you share it with others, it becomes wisdom, and that's powerful.
Oh, I love the way you articulated that. And something that I want to add to it is like, people often look at their lives, like I'm sure you're familiar with like the hero's journey. People often look at their lives like there's only one story arc. Like there's only one hero's journey that we have to go on, when the reality is our lives are hundreds of hero's journeys. We're going to have, that call to adventure. We're going to have those struggles. We're going to have those obstacles. We're going to overcome it. We're going to learn the lesson, and we're going to return with Excalibur, right? But the reality is that it's a lifelong process. There are so many hero's journeys that we will go on, heroine's journeys, what have you.
And I think it's important to note, yes, there's so many of them, because otherwise people feel like it's only me, right? Why am I having so much trouble with this? Why do I keep getting knocked down? So there's more than one. And I have found myself back in the same place again, even though I learned and grew through it, right? It's sort of, I'm back here again. There's something more that I need to learn, or some more wisdom that I need to gain so that I can help others. So when you find yourself in those places, what I recommend and what I do for myself is I look at it as an opportunity to use the skills I've gained and show myself I can.
Absolutely. I love that. Yes. Keep going. So we're joined now by Ashley Davis. How you doing, Ashley?
What's up, Jonathan? I'm seeing you on the camera right now. I'm gonna need you to stand up and move your body because you're looking a little sleepy. Come on now, get up, get moving, get moving. You got all these hours to go. I'm pumped up more than you.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm tall. I'm something if the cord's too long, what have you. Anyways, girl, thank you. Thank you for that little energy boost. I needed that. Yeah. So, Ashley, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. So what is it that you do and how do you bring value to this audience? Tell us all about it.
Oh, so I currently do 3D printing. What I do is I bring your logo to reality. I take it off that little retractable banner back there that Jason got, and I let you hold it. And then I amplify it. I put LED lights in it because I'm an electrical engineer and I can just do it.
What? Dude, I love the way that you talk. You're a natural born marketer. And it's like a woman with a lot of talent. But it's like, I love when I meet like really cool, energetic people that just have your energy. And it's like, you just say all the right things. It's like, to me, I'm very spiritual. I don't know about you. I'm sure you are, but I believe in past lives. And I'm like, oh, this is one of those old souls that has done this life so many times. They just get to the point. They're just like, I got no time to waste. I ain't here to be lazy. I'm mastering all the things, and I know how to talk my way out of a paper bag. I can see it. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, like in terms of like the 3D printing, I know that this is kind of like an exciting new thing. What inspired you to initially get into 3D printing in the first place? Did you see an opportunity in the market, or was it just something that you were really passionate about? You're like an artistic person. You like sculpting. Hey, 3D printing, I want to make some cool hats or whatever, or some cool like figures or what have you, and I'm going to create this. So what was it, the opportunity or the passion?
Neither.
Neither. Even better.
Neither. So what happened, I actually used to own a business. I used to make my handmade soaps and lotions because my husband had an eczema issue. So I used to do that. I lost the passion when COVID hit. Oh, well, something going. Hey, Mr. Mitchell. And lost the passion and stuff like that. And so then my son said, I want a 3D printer because I want to start a YouTube channel and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I can't get one now because I'm on a
Right.
flight. Well, that happened, right? So then, once I was able to get the 3D printer, he didn't want it, so it sat in my closet for, excuse my language for this, for damn near 2 years. I pulled it out. I literally pulled it out. And I want to 3D print something. So if you go to Ash_Creations on Instagram, you'll see I 3D printed these cool, nice looking
Ash
dragons.
Creations. Let's check this out. Check it out.
Yeah. So I printed these cool little dragons, and I was just 3D printing. And this part of the story was told to me by my husband. He said, I went to sleep and I said, hold your logo. I even wrote it on my wall next to my bed. Hold your logo. I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't know why I wrote it. And he was
Cool
like, you
stuff.
should really look at it. You should really look at it. So then I was like, I don't know. Then I went to bed the next day, and the lights and flash and stuff was all in my dream saying, Ashley, hold your logo, hold your logo. So I went in my kitchen because I was literally doing this stuff out of my kitchen, and I 3D printed my logo. It took about six days to 3D print it, and I put some LED lights in it, and I felt it, and I held it, and I was like, I am holding my logo. And it's not on a piece of paper, it's not on a tag, it's not on a bag. It is here in reality in 3D like me. So that's where I started the
love
concept.
that. I love that.
Oh.
That is so powerful because it's like there was a feeling I got like the first time. So I bought a brand new truck recently. I've been a business owner for 4 months, and I have no idea how I've been as successful as I am. But I remember the first time that I bought a new truck and I put a window tint of my logo on the back mirror, and being able to hold my logo tangibly, it lit a fire in me that filling out an FEIN form, a tax ID form, getting a logo from Fiverr could not do. It made me feel like it was real now. And when you were able to hold your logo for the first time, that is the energy that I feel. It's real now, because with everything being digital now, we're talking about NFTs, we're talking about Bitcoins and tokens and things. We're losing the tangibility of life. And for you to be able to hold it in your hands, there's nothing like that, right? It's like receiving a piece of mail, like a letter in the mail, in comparison to an email. When it's handwritten, when it is right there, it's something you can hold, you can touch, you can save. There is nothing like it. So I'm a big fan of this, and don't be surprised when I hit you up and I want my own logo in real life, because I definitely have an affinity for that. So thank you for sharing. Great to have you here. Yes. So if people want to reach you now, you dropped your Instagram. I want to make sure that I got that right. So why don't you give it to us one more time? And
it's
_creations. Creations.
Yeah, it's the lady in red.
Lady in red. She is a beauty, and she's got some Instagram stories for you to check out right now. So, and she has a great page. She's also on Threads, so go check her out. Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure to have you, and we will go back to the stream. So make sure to keep watching. We're going to be having a good time. We'll have you come back soon. All right. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you. Take care.
Talk to you later.
Ashley is an igniter. Like her energy, like she's an igniter. Like
that's what I needed.
Ooh, and like I'm passionate about her passion now. And I'm like, okay, I want to put more of that energy into what I love. It's such a beautiful gift that she has. Wow. Thank you, Ashley.
Love that. Yes. All right. So we are keeping rocking and rolling. Now we're at 3:00 on the dot. So we're going to be getting started in a second. I'm going to take a quick minute. We'll keep going. And yeah. All right. We're going to be going live here. Ooh, we got an exciting little setup coming on right now. So while we're here, I'm just checking in on everybody. How are you guys doing in the comments? Do we have any comments, any questions? I can't believe we don't have more questions. Are people asking things in the comments?
I've been putting the comments up just
so
much.
Go ask me some questions, some marketing questions. That's actually, I'm not just here to be entertainment. I'm actually a digital marketer, and I've had a little bit of success on LinkedIn, apparently. So if you guys have some questions pertaining to LinkedIn, ask away, or
OWL questions.
Or OWL questions. They could be LinkedIn questions, OWL questions. This could be anything pertaining to marketing. if you're having a challenge uncovering what your offer is, how to scale your offer, how to monetize your offer. There's so many potential questions that come when it comes to creating a business. So, what are your questions, guys? What do you want to know about?
While we're waiting for questions, do you want to throw some best practices for OWL up there? I know we talked about this before, like when you go live. Your
When you go
no-no,
live.
remember? When Jonathan first got on OWL, he was like, I think I have a stalker. Like this person keeps trying to contact me. And I'm like, well, that's because you're live, Jonathan. So just a tip to all you guys out there using OWL. When you go live, that means you are open and available to chat.
Wait a second. We can't just get away from that subject. We got to go back for a second. Okay. Guys, please do not do this, right? Especially when you're talking to an influencer that has PTSD. People have sent me their hair. People have asked me for my dirty socks. People have sent me toenails. It's been some crazy things. People know where I live.
Toenails?
Okay? Toenails. Toenails. People know where I live, all right? So, this is what you do not want to do. If you send somebody a message on LinkedIn, do not go to Instagram and send them the same message, and then proceed to go to OWL and send them a message. Like, and then don't send them an email in addition to that. It's like, listen, I get it. I saw it on the first one, but like at least wait 24 hours before sending the second one, please. So that's all I'm saying is don't stalk people on social media.
Can you actually read and see the questions from here?
Because
I cannot.
Can't.
I think I need glasses.
Yes, we are live around the world. Can you read that?
No, not even close.
Are you for that?
I mean, I am supposed to wear glasses. I just never wear them.
Oh, you bored.
I was like, oh, my vision's not that bad. I guess it is. Yeah, I can't read that at all.
That's okay.
Wow.
Best practices. Okay, so mistake that I made is that I went live and then I didn't answer calls while I was live. If you say that you're going live, you got to answer, guys. That's the whole point.
And make sure that
you're losing money and credibility.
Make sure that your notifications are turned on. So when you download the OWL app, go to your settings, because that way, if someone is trying to call you, you will be able to make that money, earn that money. You won't miss the calls. Let's see, some other best practices for filling out your profile. People always ask, how do I get people to call me? I want to make money on this app, right?
Now you got me excited. Now you got me excited about this one. Yeah. So this is where I can This is where I can jump in. So there's certain mechanisms that you have to have on your profile in order to get people excited about your offer, right? So there's a couple of variables that you need to consider. Mine, the one that I consider the most important is the time horizon. How long is it going to take for somebody to be successful when it comes to your offer? So for example, like the way that I would frame my offer is I help business owners create digital content or videos on social media without breaking the bank or without spending hours and hours filming, right? So what did I do? I assist, I help, right? I'm guiding this person through the process. So that's the one identifier first. The next one is who we're helping, right? So who are we helping? Are we helping business owners? Are we helping entrepreneurs? Are we helping grandmothers? Are we helping grandfathers? Are we helping teachers? You need to identify specifically who you're guiding and who you're helping, right? Because the riches are in the niches. The people that actually make all the money know exactly how to customize a surface to a very specific group of people, right? And then once you have that, what is the vehicle? What's the offer? What is the thing that you're helping people do, right? So that's your industry, what you're specializing in. And then from there, time horizon. How quickly can you deliver it? How easy can you make it for people? Or like, there's got to be some type of money element or time element to that, or else people are going to say to themselves, well, as soon as I invest money into this, what happens next? How long is this process going to be, right? That's why Xanax is $1 billion organization and Breathwork is $1 million organization, because Xanax can deliver a guaranteed promise within a designated time, where Breathwork is not a guaranteed. It is not a guarantee that you will feel better, at least in my opinion. It's like if I'm very, very anxious, I may or may not get a guaranteed outcome.
I get it. This is my approach. So by the way, guys, I'm Danielle Santilli. I didn't really introduce myself. I don't even know who's live. Are we on your live right now?
We're right there, girl.
I can't see.
We're on.
I have bad eyes.
There she is.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hello. Okay, yes, we are still with Nancy, right?
Where would Nancy? Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Nancy.
Look at
I
that
don't even
beauty.
think that we met.
She can't see you.
I can't hear. Oh, she can't see me.
You can't hear her either?
I can't hear her. Can you hear her?
You need to get your
Hang
ears.
on, hang on.
Oh, now I can.
I was just about
No,
to-
not my eyes and my ears.
Oh my gosh.
Not
That is
that
that's
bad. No.
life in your late
Hey,
20s.
so nice to meet you. We are actually
too.
on Brian Schulman's channel. If you missed the hour prior, you can go jump on my channel to catch all the wisdom that came up there for everyone watching. But we will be here for the next 2 hours, I believe, right?
Yes.
Hopefully as
I-
long as possible.
Yeah, we can
Oh.
listen as long as every event will go for up to 4 hours. So if we have to figure
For
out
everyone
something from there, we
listening,
will.
Go to Brian's channel. So we were talking about, I was just saying that, so I am a singer-songwriter, I'm a meditation teacher and a voice teacher, and I also work at OWL. And I always like to do the natural approach first. However, if I do, sometimes it works and it's not always 100% accurate, consistent. So if I do the breath work and I'm like, this headache's still there, then of course I'm going to go to my trusty Advil or whatever. But back to the bio for OWL. Another tip, which I don't think you mentioned, is just putting your experience in terms of not just what you do, but credentials, detailed credentials, any awards that you've gotten, right? So if you're the #1 hypnotherapist in your city, put that down. Like, I have 20 years of experience in my industry. I write that down. I received a scholarship to my university for singing. I put those things down that show that I'm actually legitimate and not just, pulling this out of my ass. So
Do you know why I don't include that? Because at least it's not something that I'm super proud of, but typically, and again, this is a very controversial take, but I'm going to say it because I've experienced enough. Typically, when people have businesses that do not work, that is when they turn to marketing the most.
okay.
Typically, when people have businesses that do not work, that's when they turn to marketing. McDonald's is 80% marketing, 20% product. There's a lot of organizations and businesses that are like that. Apple is 80% marketing, 20% product, right? It's the way the thing is packaged. And in my experience, especially when COVID happened, I was working with so many life coaches. I was working with so many first-time entrepreneurs, first-time business owners that they were great at what they did. They didn't have the experience to be able to say, I've got 20 years in this and that and the other thing, right? Very few people have 20 years of experience at anything, right?
Right.
So, oftentimes my responsibility as a marketer is to make the offer so sensational and so insatiable that despite lack of experience, you can still sell like somebody that has way more experience than you do, right? So I've kind of like gotten into that realm, but I absolutely agree with you. For the people that do have that level of authority, scream it from the mountaintops. I just haven't been as lucky working with those people in my experience, because those people typically do not need as much marketing because they have so much undeniable stacked proof that they are who they say they are.
Right.
It's the
Well,
word
'cause
of mouth.
I've talked to people on OWL just the other day, a guy that, had so I think it was like hypnotherapist. And then he was like, oh, I just got voted the #1 in my city. And I'm like, you need to put that on your OWL
Absolutely.
profile.
If
So
you are one of those, then
those
absolutely.
things are important. Those statistics, they unfortunately do matter. So
They do.
anyways, but
Look
I'm
who it
gonna-
is!
Yeah.
Ah, it's Wendy!
I snuck in.
Yes,
I'm
Wendy.
gonna pop out as Wendy. Wendy is so interesting. You don't need me in here. She's gonna just
we
talk
always
your
bring
ear off.
Danielle. She's the go-to.
She's the go-to.
But for real, I'm gonna eat lunch, guys. Haven't
Okay,
done that yet.
Let me step out for 1 minute.
Yeah,
you
you
take
step
over.
out.
Yeah, do a little intro, and I will be right back. I just need 30 seconds. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Whoop, here.
I'm on
We make it all happen. And over here on Instagram, hello to everybody on Instagram. We're coming at you from all the social media platforms.
Instagram friends. Okay, here. I'll pop over
Yeah.
here just while Jonathan is gone. I guess yeah, we're gonna call someone on OWL then, before Wendy introduces herself. And then once Jonathan gets back, we'll go from there.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
ready. We're calling.
Okay. Well, never mind. We'll just we'll keep going. But well, I'm just distracted by this owl call right now. But when I saw your bio when you first came on our podcast, which was last week, I immediately was drawn to you. Even before meeting you, just from the language on your bio, which was that you have a heart-centered approach, I believe, heart-centered, and
we recognize each other.
yeah, I recognized you, and your energy immediately coming in. I was like, okay, this is my people right here. So people have probably read your bio watching this. You're an accomplished author. You've done so many wellness retreats, experiences, and you started off not doing that and then shifting, which is similar to me. I didn't do it for as many years as you, but started off, in the corporate world and was like, no, thank you. I see something more out there that's I'm passionate about. That's, you started off not doing that and then shifting, which is similar to me. I didn't do it
We
for
got a
years,
little back
feedback. Oh, okay.
Is
Well,
that better?
we have someone on the line, Tanya Davis.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I know Tanya, but for those of us, do you want to say hi? We have
Hi,
Wendy
Tanya.
here.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. All right, I want to see.
So, for those of us that don't know you, Tanya, and what you do, I think you're awesome, but let's share with our audience and with Wendy a little bit about yourself.
So I help people live a better balanced life through mind, body, spirit balance, teaching people guided imagery, progressive muscle relaxation. And I can help people do the same thing that I did. I took my blood pressure from 155 over 95 to 127 over 72 within a year. No medication, no blood pressure medication.
Amazing. Yeah. So she's also our people. It's funny, right before you came on, John and I were going back and forth about like medicine versus natural technique. So it's kind of ironic that we just called you, and I don't know, my opinion, I always try the natural way first, and then if I have to use meds, I have to use meds. But
yes.
Yeah. So that's amazing. Wendy, do you want to share? I shared a little bit about Wendy, but do you want to share with Tanya a little bit about yourself?
Well, hey, Tanya, I come from the medical field and left the medical field and became a wellness coach initially, and then a business coach in the wellness industry. And so
Wonderful.
I so much appreciate what you say, because what comes to mind. I remember being down at Jackson Memorial Hospital here in Miami, and one of the nurses was she just took her blood pressure, was very high, and I just sat with her and did some breathing.
Yes.
And her blood pressure went down, and she was so surprised too, because she was thinking about going home. I so appreciate people do not know that they have the power and that they have these tools available, but they need to know about the tools.
And they're free. Oh, speaking of that, I'm going to do a quick plug for myself, because this Saturday, because we have Wendy's audience here too that are also local. So I just want to throw this out there. Tomorrow, we're speaking about all this healing and breath work and meditation. Tomorrow, if you are local in the South Florida area, in Lake Worth at the MTN Art Gallery, I'm going to be doing a big wellness event from 7 to 9 p.m. So I'm going to be releasing an album of musical mantras, my first official meditation music out there. And then we're going to have guided meditation, stretching, sound bowl healing, tarot readings, Thai massage, hors d'oeuvres, cacao, free giveaways. Everyone from, some merch to actually famous artists that are going to be giving away their sculptures with the purchase of a ticket. So if you guys are local, we have 10 tickets left.
Hey,
Come by.
go for it. All right.
I am
Anyways.
so jealous that I can't be there. I'm
I
so
know.
sad.
I wish you could. I know. It's okay. Next time. We'll fly you
Next
here. We'll
time.
get you on the podcast. We'll make it happen.
So
Fantastic.
we only got Wendy for so long. I want to dive right in.
Yes.
I want to better understand Wendy. Okay, maybe I won't do this.
I'm gonna leave.
I was going to say, I was thinking I needed the dark sunglasses for the look.
What-
On the other
if you had them, but
Maybe
no,
I
since we're
need
gonna switch glasses. Okay, let's switch.
All right, you guys, take my seat. I'm gonna go eat my healthy salad now.
Healthy salad.
So,
That's what my food eats.
woo. Anyways,
How fun is this? I mean, literally, this is work. This is work, you guys. That's why I say when you live your passion, you don't mind and you actually want to go the extra mile and working 40 hours, like you work 40 hours, you don't want to work 40 hours in a corporate career. You say, okay, when can I go on vacation? But when you work for yourself,
What do you think of a 25-hour live stream straight? How does that sound when it comes to living out your passions? It's a little intense, eh?
that's it. That's almost getting your whole 40 hours in, like
One
a
day.
day and a half. A day and a half.
Right. So I am so one more time, give your offer to the audience. I want to make sure that they hear this. So what is your offer? What do you provide to your prospects, your clients? What is the specific?
I think it's so important that I believe everybody has a voice and a story and a message, and the world needs to hear it. I think that's so important, and we really don't usually think of ourselves that way. So I'm really passionate about helping entrepreneurs or people, men and women, publish a book or become an author in a co-author, a collaboration book in some way so that you can get that message out into the world. So important. And I really, when you hear the statistics, so Jonathan, get this. All right, I'm going to ask you.
Okay, yes, please.
And I'm going to ask you guys.
Yes,
So
everybody in the audience,
comment.
drop a comment.
What percentage of the population do you think at some point in their life wants to write a book?
Man, I would, well, I'm a type A, so I'd say 70%.
Good guess. It's
I'm going to say
higher?
75.
Wait, we had someone
75. So
75.
Tanya's saying 75.
Okay, you're getting closer. Between 80 to 90% of the population at some point thinks about writing a book in their lifetime.
Really?
Wow.
Really?
Crazy, right?
Really?
Wow.
Okay, now here's your follow-up question. What percentage of that group actually writes their book?
Oh, wow. 40?
20%.
You guys, 20%, 40%. I'm going to tell you why it's not that high, why it's less than 5%.
Less than 5?
Less than 5.
Wow.
Now,
5?
we're surrounded by people that do these things.
Wow. Okay. But there's such a gap between people that aspire and people that actually do.
It's crazy. It's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes. Why? What's the gap?
Well, the
What's
gap,
the gap?
is they don't know where to start or how to start. It's the starting. It's the blank
Oh, well, that's everything in life,
page,
right? Yeah.
right? Holding the pen and a blank page. You could be stuck on, what do I write about? I have so much I want to share. Where do I start? So you keep going back to that and putting it off, and then, life happens.
Life happens. Do you think it's limiting beliefs? People don't feel like their story is worthy of being documented. Maybe they aspire to have a book, but they don't feel their story's worthy of being a book.
Because we think of authorship like here. So I remember the first book that I launched, a friend of mine, actually, when he was introducing me, he said, has anybody ever known an author before? Like, we have an author. And by the way, at this point, if he would have asked me that question a couple years prior, I would have said, no, I really didn't know any authors. But then because I started writing a book, what happens? You start looking for people that have written books. You start attracting those kind of people in your life. So once you know people that have done it, then you start to ask the questions and it becomes doable in your mind, but you don't know what you don't know. So you have no idea where to start.
Right.
So you keep pushing it under the rug and somehow you seem to forget about it.
It's so true. And I have an analogy for that because we actually have very intertwining, intertwining beliefs, but also the way that we serve our clients. So the way that I put it is, imagine that you're driving a sweet 1964 Corvette, 1964 Mustang, right? And you got a cassette tape. Okay, and you got a cassette tape, and the very first time you hear those songs, they are bangers, they're great, you're vibing, you're having a good time listening to those songs. But imagine you play that same cassette every day for years. After about 5 years, that is ambient noise in the background that you can't differentiate from the engine, right? Now imagine that your friend buys a 1964 Corvette and they say, you know what, I could use some music. And you tell them, oh, well, I have this cassette. I've been listening to it for 5 years. It's whatever. It's all right. Here, take a look. Listen to it. They listen to it and they call you back and they're like, oh my God, these are the best songs I've ever heard. You didn't make it sound like this. This is great music. And that is the story of our lives that we tell ourselves in our brains, in our minds every day. Our stories become ambient noise in the background. But as soon as we share it with somebody, all of a sudden it's the greatest thing they've ever heard. And I feel like overcoming that obstacle alone allows people to really believe that they have a story that is worthy of being documented and written. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I agree with that because until like so you give that CD to somebody, you share the music and then all of a sudden they love it. And in the beginning, they might continue to share,
Right.
but then over time, then something replaces it.
Right.
Something jumps up in front and that becomes a priority. And that's what happens in our lives. Like we get excited about something and then we get red shiny ball syndrome.
Yes.
Right? Am I
the
the
red
only
shiny
one?
ball?
Red
No,
shiny ball.
no,
Like,
no.
oh my God, I'm doing this and then I'm doing this and I'm doing
Right,
this.
right. Yes, all the time, all the time. We're always chasing the next thing. I call it being half pregnant. We are half pregnant with so many things, so many ideas. It's like no, see it all the way to conception. Have the birth, and even if that baby cannot function on its own in the beginning, the more you raise it and you nurture it and you take care of it, it becomes a healthy thing, a healthy adult, if you will. And I'm a big believer in that. That's so true, so true.
Oh my goodness. All right, talking about birthing a baby.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
I can't say I have experience with it. So
This is a crazy story. When I was launching my first book, I posted on Facebook that I was birthing a baby in reference to a book. And literally, my son was in college and called me like immediately, Mom, are you pregnant? Like he
oh
read
my
like a
God.
sentence.
But you're a marketer. You knew what you were doing or
Oh
no?
my right? But that's what happens. It is a birthing process and it's a big deal. Like when you birth a baby, that's 9 months. Hopefully you thought about it and you planned for it and you decided you were doing it. And if not, it's still great because it's 9 months to prepare for it. And that's what you need with any of the bigger goals that you set in your life. Like these things don't happen overnight. You got to get into a community and you got to start, with your mindset because we were talking about visualizing and what that looks like and most importantly what that feels like and why you want to do it. You got to focus on your why.
Absolutely. Focusing on your why. So going into the why and just going through the book writing process, like in my world, the thumbnail of the YouTube video, the title of the YouTube video, the searchability of it, the aesthetics of like a great headline, for an article or for a piece of social media content. That to me is like the 80%. How important do you think the book title is in comparison to the actual context within the book?
Okay, that is the $1,000,000 question.
That is the $1,000,000
You
question.
just asked it right there because there's been story after story after story that a book has been published under one title or with one book cover. And then the author changes the title and sometimes just a couple words. And I heard earlier you were talking about AI, and that is one of the great reasons to use AI to kind of test certain ideas that you have. And so if you have a great title, if you happen to have a great title and you beta test it, I mean, you want to check these things out.
Absolutely.
It's really important. They all become your keywords. So it is very, very important. The aesthetics are very, very important. I know I go into Barnes and Noble and I look around and like it's red shiny ball. I like that. I have no idea what's written inside. I like the cover. I like the title. So yeah, that's what
Right.
grabs us. And then the title, the subtitle,
Mm-hmm.
the back of the book,
Ooh, the back. That is nothing I've considered. Tell me about the back of the book.
Oh,
What's important in the back of the book?
is really, really important. Okay, so for example, this is our latest book, co-author book called Becoming
It's
You.
gorgeous. That is a gorgeous cover. Please show it for the audience. Do it for them. Yes, it is gorgeous. You should see it in person. Y'all are jealous. I know. So the back
Available on Amazon.
available on
Available
Becoming
on
You.
Amazon.
So the back of the book, the
Okay, so
importance
now
of it.
the back of the book, because that's what, a lot of people look at the front
Right.
and then they want the summary on the back, like why me, why now, why this book. And so
Mm.
that's really important. And then what else?
Why me? Why now? Why this book? Why me? Why now? Why this book? That's what you need to do for your back cover. She just gave away the secret, guys.
And by the way, this applies to everything. So this applies to an online course. This applies to the whole digital marketing world. If you like, I also produce events. So when you go to a landing page, the website, you have to get the whole skinny, and it's got to draw you in. I mean, maybe there's a video, so we can't have a live video.
right.
Just
yes,
yet.
Yes.
Just yet. I'm sure there would be a time.
It's coming. Yes.
Right. But online, you can see something live. But then the table of contents is really important. And, you just kind of like, how thick is the book?
The feel of it.
Feel of the book.
Feel of the
Go ahead and
cover.
feel this. Feel this.
Oh, I like this
Right?
material. Okay. It's
Silky
smooth.
smooth. Silky
Yes.
smooth. So all those things, because, we make decisions based on feelings.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Our
Absolutely.
emotions. We have
Our
to
emotions.
feel really good, and we have to feel drawn to something. So when we know the author, then automatically, then I'm going to buy their next book. But initially, for a lot of new writers, which is really why this co-author book collaboration process, 5 advantages of writing a co-author book. But number one is you tap into other people's fears of influence.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. I
Because
like that.
how many followers do you? Well, you have a lot, so you have a lot
Well,
of connections,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
But on average, if the average person has
400 to 900.
okay, so 400 to 900, but then you partner with 20 of those people. Now you're talking about 10,000 people or 15,000 people's
Right.
sphere of influence.
Right. That is so powerful. But really quickly, I just want to touch on the title because my favorite example of an effective book title was The 4-Hour Work Week. It is a book about delegating, guys. When you read through it, I love Tim Ferriss. He's a great guy. He's so full of knowledge, but it's a book about delegating. But when it is framed as the 4-Hour Work Week, sells millions. And I just find it incredible of how impactful such a small element like that can be. So yeah, go ahead, please.
Well,
share.
so I just listened to Tim Ferriss talk about that book title.
Oh, really?
Last week.
No way.
Last
Okay,
week.
please.
I was
please
just
share.
listening. So he went through 4 or 5 different book
Did he?
titles. He
No way.
did.
Wow.
It didn't just land. So when you're thinking about doing something like this, writing a book, don't wait until you have the perfect book title. That is where you get the beta group together, you consult with somebody that can help you process and think with, and don't let that hold you back, because you can always retitle, or you can always play around with titles. And this book actually, so this was my first book right here.
Oh, was it?
This
Can I
was my
touch it?
first book.
I feel like I need to touch it. Yes. This one has like it's a little bit more of like it's I don't want to call it a plasticky feel, but it's like it's got a little bit of a heavier cover, and it just like yes. And like look at this gorgeous woman on it. What is your destiny? I love it. I love that it's a photo of her. I love the way that the destiny's written differently. The sub headline, it's a beautiful looking book. I love this.
Well, so this is interesting. It did not look like this 12 years ago.
Really?
When I first produced it. So go ahead. This is
10th anniversary.
the 10th anniversary. So I redesigned the entire cover to make it fresh, to make it
Modern.
new. Yes, modern. It's like your home. Of course, you're going to renovate your house.
I love that. Renovate your books like you renovate a house. Yes, that is such a thought.
We need makeovers. You need to redo your hair. You need to, your style. You have different phases and stages of life.
It's so true. You're helping me realize things that I didn't even, I think the thing, but I've never heard it put in words. It's so funny because, like, big fan of Tony Robbins. I've read Grant Cardone's books, and it kills me when it's an old photo of Tony or an old photo of Grant, because I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the information is dated because the cover is dated, right? Is there something
Yes.
to that?
Yes.
The information is
so
dated,
true.
right?
Oh gosh. I mean, you're so spot on, and we need to. And I think as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, that you should have branding photos, and you need to refresh every couple years.
Absolutely.
Everything about you changes, and all of your assets need to reflect the change, because let's face it, we're a different person than we were yesterday.
Literally, all of our cells, 7 years, we all replenish our new cells. We're a completely different person every 7 years, right? Hair changes, hair texture changes, skin changes, all of it. That makes, but I've just never heard it put into words, but it's so true. What now, another question that I want to ask you is, when it comes to keeping attention in a book, what are some of the key elements? Like, I know that, when screenwriters, do you want to hit that? I just don't want to lose your live. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yes, I don't want to lose her. So I'll go ahead and pitch the question as she's walking, because I've worked with Hollywood screenwriters in the past, and something that they've shared with me in the past is that on certain pages, certain actions are supposed to happen. How do you keep a book engaging throughout? Do you have like certain points in the book where you need to tell this story or that story, or is it completely customizable? Is there structure to writing an effective book?
Well, it depends what type of book we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay. So it's if it's informational,
Yes. Yeah.
right? You want to just give as much value, and you want to divide up the categories, the chapters, etc. A business book, you're going to get information. This book becoming you, and the co-author books that we produce. I have a publishing partner. Her name is Patricia Wooster, and what our co-authors do, and which is most interesting, even when you go to hear a speaker, you just don't want to hear information. I mean, if they're just spitting out information, it gets really dry.
We need stories.
Really boring.
Right.
Super boring. So to captivate, hold someone's attention, you got to share the story behind the whole, like the why. Before you can jump into the why, like why that became your why. And then you position it. So I always like Glenn Doyle. I don't know if you've read any of her work. She has a book team, but she's so good at storytelling. At each chapter, she drops you in, not to the beginning of the story. She drops you in at just the right point that she grabs your attention. It's like a hook. It's like even your newsletter. I mean, these are the ways that you write. If someone's just sending you newsletter that's just like straight off, buy my stuff. Like,
yes.
How fast can you hit the unsubscribe?
Absolutely. Right.
But when you feel like that person is coming into your email box, or when you're reading somebody that you actually know them and that they're speaking to you. Another good example is Elizabeth Gilbert with Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh, yes.
She took
Classic.
us on the journey with us. I mean, with her, like we were in Italy, like we were in Bali with her. And so that's really what a book, as well as when you go to an event and you hear a speaker or a live stream as well. Like when you're live, if we were just sitting here and we were just sharing information, but it's all about the banter. It's all about truly connecting one human being. Like I see you, you see, like we're connected. It has to be about the energy, and you have to feel it.
Yes.
And the intent is really important. And then, of course, the editing and the whole process, the formatting is all really important as well. And you need professionals to do that. And there's a lot of self-publishing that goes on. Our books are self-published, but they are of the highest quality, where they sit right now, like this book, well, our prior book is sitting on the front bookshelf of Barnes and Noble. This one right here down the street, right next to Grant Cardone and right next to Tim Ferriss, like right in the front. You have to have a high quality book to have that happen.
Of course. I mean, you don't want it to be that one like shoddy looking book amongst the rest. It's like I'd feel like the stupidest kid in a classroom. You know, it's like I don't want that to be me. I want to feel like my status is the same. Now, I got a question for you. Now, I have a belief that you can't carve a pebble, right? So, what does that mean? I feel like in order to write a great book, you kind of need to live an interesting life, because how are you going to have those stories unless you've gone through enough experiences to really, and I'm not talking about just any old book, I'm talking about a bestseller. I just find that either you're going to have to be a study worm and take other people's stories to help kind of empower yours, and then you might have to do like a Tools of the Titan, which Tim Ferriss also published. You could do that, but I feel like it's kind of necessary to live an interesting life in order to have an interesting story to tell, interesting information to share. I feel like the more life experiences that I've had, pro wrestler, model, forensic accountant, divorced twice, lost 3 houses, you know, all these things, I could talk for 25 hours because I've lived an interesting life. But can you write a great, effective, best-selling book without really living outside, like living and experiencing? Is it possible?
Well, so I'm going to take the opposite, okay? That I believe that we all have interesting lives if we're willing to do the inner work and
Mm.
pay attention. Like, for example, like I created early on this timeline because we forget. We forget all the obstacles that we have overcome. We have really forgotten about all the wins and achievements that we've had in life. Like, we don't even remember what we did, all the achievements like last week or last month or last year. Like, if you
That's
try
so
to
true.
do inventory at the end of the year, like, I'm going to recap 2023. What did I accomplish? You accomplished a lot. So if you documented it along the way, like, you got to pay attention to your wins. So I always say just start by writing or journaling and keeping track of what is happening in your life.
Mm.
And that will make you feel better about your life because there's so many more things that happen than we give ourselves credit for on the
That is
upside,
beautiful.
and also the difficult times that we can say we got through them. So I think it's
Right.
really important to do that.
I love that. So there you go, guys. Like, if you want to start the process of writing your book, create that timeline and start documenting everything that you have done. And I think that also it probably helps you with your gratitude, recognizing like all of the stuff that you have done. It's going to help your self-confidence. And if the byproduct is also you're putting together the beginnings of a book, not a bad thought. So, and also when it comes to writing a book, how do you know an idea is like good enough? Because that's kind of like where I feel like I'm stuck. It's like, do I have a good idea on my hands? Is this an idea worthy? Because I would love to hop on a call with you and be like, hey, I have something to present to you, you know, and now I could start this journey. So, what would you be looking for in an ideal client when it comes to coming up with an idea of a story to tell?
Okay. Right out of the get-go is, has anything you've been through that you've shared with another helped another person achieve something more in their life?
Oh my God, hundreds, thousands, yes.
Okay. So right away, life lessons, like your life lessons, they're valuable. So just take that in for a moment. But if you do it because you want to be famous, I think that's the wrong reason.
Nothing in life. Yes.
Like, you're not doing it to make more money. Like, it's not gonna, that's not the way that you're gonna acquire wealth. If you're doing it because you have an inner drive to help people and to make an impact,
Right.
then do it.
I love
That's
that.
your gauge. And then the how, like, know what you're gonna do. Like, I in some way, shape, or form want to make as big a difference in the world to as many people in the world as possible. Then you start exploring, is it speaking? Is it doing live stream? Is it writing a book? And then I say, if the why is really big, like, start putting a number to it. I mean, you can help just one person focusing on just a project like writing a book. If I help one person, it saves their lives, it makes them happier, you know, et cetera, more health, more wealth, anything, better relationships, then wouldn't I want to do it?
Absolutely. And also what really resonates with me with what you said is, the person that will walk, the person that is only focused on walking to the destination will give up the quickest. The person that is trying to walk, that enjoys walking, is going to go further. And then the person trying to save their family or their community is going to walk the furthest. Right? Is that resonating?
Yeah, I mean, so much so. Like every part of my body resonates. I would not have written book number 1 if it weren't for that reason. It was just because I had some discoveries later in life and I wanted to share them. So immensely grateful that I did have those experiences. I could have gone my whole life without a few like really important aha moments. So I felt to those much is given, and I am very humbled by the process that it was just a small little book. It was a quick little book that I wrote, which is sharing some of the life lessons that I was learning actually while I was learning them. Like
Wow.
I wrote my first book were actually sayings that I put on t-shirts, but I wrote a lot of those sayings while I was on the spin bike in a gym class. And then I said, you know what? I think I want to share them. People were telling me all the time, they were reading the messages on the t-shirts and they're like, I really like that. Like one of the t-shirts, I'm strong, powerful, courageous, and fearless. Like that's helpful. Like I could wear a shirt like that and that's helpful. So why would you not, when you can do it and it's going to bring joy into your life by sharing it, because we know that those that we give and share, help and support, that it boomerangs back, and the giver actually even receives more than the person that's receiving. So it's a boomerang universe and all these
A
amazing things
boomerang
happen,
universe. I love
right?
that.
It's a boomerang
Yes.
universe.
Yes.
So why not? I say, why not? You have this one short, beautiful life. Why not squeeze as much juice as possible?
Why is it that everybody keeps saying that today? It's like, is the universe trying to send me a message? Because everybody keeps saying, squeeze the most juice. Tint World, the guy that was just here before you sitting at squeeze the most juice. And I want to ask about that specifically. What is it that gives you so much drive? What is it that makes you say, it's not enough? And wait, I want to reframe that. That's not a fair statement to make. What makes you continue to wake up every morning and say there's more that I can do for this universe that I'm a part of? What keeps your drive so high?
I think the struggle. When I go back and I think about the times in my life that were the hardest, where I barely thought that I could get through to the other side, like I get choked up, like immediately I feel it.
Ooh.
And then to know that there is life after that, that you can go from despair. Now, you're not going to jump from despair to I'm elated and nirvana. It's a journey. You're not going to climb to the mountaintop. Like John Maxwell says, everything you want is up at the top of the mountain, right? So you're going to have to climb.
Right.
And it's going to be hard. And you're going to have a backpack and you better have some water and you got to take, all these things. So life is like that. So as you're making progress along the way, despite the setbacks, that maybe they're just the setups for you to
I
have.
love that. Yes. Dropping the wisdom.
There you
Dropping the
go.
wisdom. Yes.
But that is my why. And if it was not for that, I wouldn't have the fuel, but it drives me. It's not a switch that turns off. It's not like I'm like, okay, so now I turn the switch off. It's a living, breathing, it's a calling. It's my calling. I know it's a calling. And so I answer the call. If the phone keeps ringing, 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 ringing all day long, all night long, eventually you pick it up. And the voice on the other side says, come on.
Right.
Come on.
Well,
Like,
where
what
I
you
need to
waiting for?
commend you is I don't think that you wait for it to ring many times. I think you're always on the front lines taking that call. And I think that going back to what we were saying with the cassette, for some people it becomes ambient noise, because I'm going to just hot take right here. If you think that people like Wendy are lucky or people like me are lucky, I have bad news for you, my friend. We are not lucky. We are people that are constantly recognizing where an opportunity is and then running towards it. This is not by accident. It's not because we're just good looking and then we just fall into opportunities. It's because it's a lot of hard work. And I love hearing that, because oftentimes as experts, we're up here. People sometimes they're early in their journeys. They might be down here. But what we do with our books, with our content, we create the ladder so that you can get to that same place. There's nothing special about this. It's like Wendy identified: drive, focus, intuition, hard work, struggles, consequences, and then ultimately success. But yes, you have been such a great guest. I loved having you. Yes,
I could do this with you for 25
we could
hours.
do this all day. So how can people reach you now that I feel inspired? I need to write my own book. How can people reach you?
Let's see. Oh, we're calling somebody.
While we're doing that, Wendy, how can people reach you? How can we get in contact with you?
Well, my spelling of my name
Yes.
is Wendy with an I and then BLUM, Blum.
BLUM.
Wendy Blum. And that's on social media. That's my website. That's a lot of places.
All the things.
Yeah, all the things. All the
Yes.
things. All the things.
Well, you have been a pleasure, and we are going to keep rocking and rolling, guys. We're going to have somebody from OWL calling in right now as soon as we grab Jason. So let's see who we have next. Keep talking. Keep talking. All right. Well, while we're doing this, your community, Wendy, do you have any questions? I guess you can't see it.
Oh,
I would
walk
love
over
to
there.
see
I'll
if we
walk
could
over
just
there. All
answer
right,
some
hold on.
questions, some cues,
Is there anything over there that we need to see?
some cues and views.
Okay. All right. We need X-ray vision. We need to be able to see across the room over there.
Hello, hello, hello.
Who do we got?
This is EA, the infamous.
Oh. Well, I've been going hard on you guys. So, what makes you the influence?
I get people to download. I get people to change how they believe. You know, their thought process, all that. Like I'm a real influencer, not the new 2023.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's a little bit arrogant for somebody to call themselves the real influencer, considering I'm a social media influencer. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So what makes you a real influencer and me a fake influencer?
No, I wouldn't say you would be fake. I mean, I would believe, I think that anybody that calls himself an influencer definitely has a reason to call themselves an influencer. It might be social media, it might be life, it might be whatever the case may be. But I'm the last person on earth to tell somebody that their influence is fake.
So what makes you a real influencer? I'm fascinated by this.
I'm definitely in my 40s and I've been influencing people my whole career. And yeah, I've been influencing people good and bad.
Do you think that the amount of time that somebody influences someone is a reflection of whether or not they're influential?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you think if somebody, let's say if I'm in high school, but I coach a bunch of kids in kindergarten and I have a positive influence on them, does it make me less of an influencer because I'm in high school?
Well, it depends on the person that's speaking, I guess, I mean, it depends on who's looking at it. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. All right. So you're influential on people. So like, what is a way that you help influence people specifically? Like, what do you help them overcome?
Oh, well, I'm really heavy in the recovery space. I work in the recovery community on the front line. So I do a lot of motivational speaking, a lot of just using motivation to get people over the hump. Yeah, I'm a licensed clinician. So yes.
Licensed clinician. Okay. So, and like what specifically when it comes to like recovery, like, are we talking about recovery from drug
Mental
addiction?
health.
Or?
Yep. I would say substance abuse and mental health. That's my license. That's what my license carries. But when I think of recovery, I think of the mind. I think of how you think. I think how you process thoughts.
So we have Wendy here. Wendy's one of our co-hosts right now. She's one of our guests.
Hey, Wendy.
So Wendy, you also have a lot of work within like the mind and mindset and what have you. So maybe there's like some collaborative energy here. So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, let's go.
I have a question for you. I'm curious. So you're in the trenches. You're really in the trenches.
Absolutely.
Have you written anything? Have you do write articles? Do you go live online? Like,
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. I'm real, again, like I said previously, I'm really heavy in the recovery space. So I'm in a process of just doing more publications to help change the narrative on the recovery, like recovery in general. Like when you think about, the old recovery model, like 12 steps and NA and all that good stuff, I'm one of those people that in the process of changing the narrative, I actually released a journal in March, and I've been getting great traction. And as you know, when you work in the recovery space, you've got to have evidence-based practicing in order to introduce it fully to the recovery community. So that's the stage I'm at right now.
And is this something that's available on Amazon? Where can people download
Absolutely. Exclusively on Amazon. Amazon actually cut the check. They gave me a really nice advance, and they're the only ones that's carrying the product at the moment. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. They gave you an advance. I mean, that's
Yes.
really fantastic. I know a lot of
Absolutely.
people could benefit from your journal.
Yeah.
So thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank
So how can they? What's the title of it again? So that people can we could drop it in the comments.
Affirmations for recovery.
Affirmations for recovery. Eric Allen, the influence. Yeah, perfect. So
Yes.
we'll have people go check that out. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for explaining.
Absolutely.
It. Yeah.
No, thank you for having this space, man. This 24-hour.
Hey, 25. Yes.
This $25 podcast is going to be legendary.
I know. It's going to be incredible. All right, perfect.
So,
well, thank you for joining
Jonathan,
us.
I need an autograph, man. Sign it virtual.
An
Give me
autograph?
an
I'll get you one, but Wendy's the real hero here. I'm just a rookie, so we'll make sure that Wendy signs one of her autograph books for you as well, and then you can include one
from both of you. Okay?
There we
Y'all are
go. I
legendary.
love
Y'all
it.
rock stars.
Thank
The real
you.
rock stars.
Oh, come on. We're all real here. Thanks, dude. Appreciate you. All right, so we are at the top of the hour, 3:51. We got 4 more minutes, and Wendy, it was a pleasure.
Oh my goodness.
Let me hug you. We can take the headphones off. Sorry.
Oh,
One more person.
we got one more call.
One more.
We were going to take a 3-minute nap. But
Yeah,
one more call.
exactly. We don't stop around here, guys. No stopping around here. So who do we got next? Who do we got? So comments. Comment world.
I don't see the comment. There's no way.
There's
no way. Okay.
Yes, we are live around the world. I see we are good now.
Those Celsius are running out. What's going on?
If-
Don't worry about the OWL audience.
I'm
Come
just
on, you're a host. Wendy, you're a host. We don't run out of questions.
We don't run out. We don't
Let's
slow
get
down. We
him
don't
on like some good topics. Tell us a little bit about some of the back end when it came to biggest videos. How'd you blow them up? Give us the secret sauce.
Like, where do I start? So I feel like there's 5 elements that every social media video absolutely needs. You need a headline, you need empathy, you need some kind of story that's going to be your key takeaway. It's going to be mixed in there. You need tangible tips, and then you need a call to action. If you plug those 5 elements into your social media video, you got a winner on your hands. You got a rock star. So with your headline, obviously you got to create some kind of curiosity, right? Without curiosity, your audience isn't going to be engaged. 94% of the reason why somebody will watch a social media video is because they believe they're going to learn something new.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hey there.
Oh, who is this? Who is in the OWL
I
podcast?
think I know the voice.
Who is this? State your name.
I think I'm hearing Wendy. Is that correct?
Well, who are you? We're worried about who you are. The audience knows who we are. Who is on the other end of this OWL call?
Who are you?
Who am I? I am Gina.
Hi,
I'm Gina Moon.
What does Gina do? Where does Gina live?
I literally just turned this thing on 4 seconds ago.
Well, I literally just opened up the app to look who was live, and I thought, I was like, we got to grab someone that Wendy knows, and I was like, there's Gina. I'm like, I know that face.
Oh, sweet. What do? I am a pleasure and embodiment coach.
Okay,
Ooh,
get a little bit more detail. I'm married. What type of pleasure are we talking?
I am not, so I am open for services.
Okay, yeah. So I actually really mostly work with women.
Oh,
me and you are out.
Aw.
my nails are painted. I've got long hair. Can I just Can I just blend in?
What about 2
Probably not.
good-looking men? Do we
you can
do we
blend
get
in,
any
I'm
extra
sure.
cut in and maybe get in the door?
No,
I was going to say you want to go to the events that Lisa, smart men, right? Would go.
Keep going. Keep
The
going.
ones that aren't married.
Okay, well, I want to
Yeah,
respect
so I
Gina's
support I
boundaries.
support women who are very powerful and very accomplished.
I love that.
You know, really have done amazing in their career
Yes.
and are struggling with finding authentic connection, with feeling feminine, with feeling magnetic, with really exploring their radiance, their sensuality. So they have like one area of their life really down pat and they feel really unfulfilled in these other areas.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. So when it comes to what do you feel is like the bottleneck or the thing that causes these women to not be fully in their feminine? Is it because they're spending so much time in their masculine? Is it the
Yeah,
relationships that they're in? Is that sometimes the cause?
all of those things. So all of the above, indeed. I think that women do need to play in men's worlds very often, and sometimes it's very difficult to shift when they come home to be in their feminine with their family and to be completely in their masculine work. Because I have so many of my clients that say, you know, if I even show any sign of being a woman, I'll have my ass handed to me
That is so
by the
true.
men
And
that I work
I
with.
really believe like I worked for a powerful female entrepreneur for over 3 years. She was a
Mhm.
powerhouse and I remember I saw the way that it would wear her down all the time.
Yeah,
Having to be
yeah.
around these really successful men that would just it's almost like they know how to prey upon it. It's almost like this
Mhm.
biological evolutionary thing where it's I don't know that it's always intentional, it's an energetic thing. And she would come
You are
home,
so
she would
right.
be so exhausted. Not like I've been working for 10 hours, it's an energy thing. They would just be her face would be white and she'd be like and
Mm.
there's nothing that I could do. She's the owner. She's got to I can't step in as a man because then it's like it's mansplaining. It's a guy
Or the good
saving
old
me.
words. Just calm down. Calm down.
Oh,
You don't say those words.
So it
Look at
was
Gina smiling. What
part
happens
of
when you
it-
say calm down?
a part of it was getting out of her way, but seeing the way that she struggled through that. So this is resonating with me deeply. Wow. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, we're
Yeah,
at the
exactly. You really got it down because it really is an energetic thing because you feel like if you let your guard down even for 3 seconds, then you know things are gonna go not your way. Somehow you'll be taken advantage of, etc.
Absolutely.
So having to, you know, being for 9 to 12 hours of your day in that energy and needing to come home and not be that for yourself, for your children, for your significant other, etc., is very challenging. And then we lose that polarity with our lover, with our partner, right? Like it's like who wants to? Then there's no
Polarity. Oh,
desire. Yeah.
you're dating your sister.
Let me ask you this,
Well,
Gina.
either
real
that
quick,
or your
real quick. I got
brother,
to time
right?
out because I have to get over to Kapow. I have a lot of people that
Oh.
are showing up at 4 p.m. and we're going to put this live stream on the big TVs at Kapow. We have the whole back room. So if
Yes.
you happen to live in South Florida, Gina, you
Yes.
better get your ass in the car and head over to Kapow.
Oh,
I know you
Gina.
live in South Florida. Come meet us for a beverage.
Okay.
And Wendy,
Yeah, I
of
mean,
course,
it's
is going to be there.
3:57,
Everyone
so I should
listening,
be
Wendy's
there by
going to
4.
Kapow afterwards. And then our next guest, Eric's going to step in. And then after he's done, he's going to Kapow. And then Cindy Metzler, who's going to be at Kapow, is coming back to this studio at 5. So bottom line is, you know, of course, you know, I'm headed out of the studio, so I just want to say goodbye.
Not
real
bad.
quick.
No, we are.
You guys got Gina on the line another 4 or 5 minutes. But Wendy, what are you giving away for the raffle? Gina, you just got in the raffle. You don't even know that.
Oh, there you
The
go.
raffle. What is the raffle?
Are you going to give away a book?
Well, 2 books.
2 books.
2 books.
Two
yeah,
books.
for sure. I mean, we're talking about writing and
I'm
sharing your
stealing them.
story.
I'm just kidding. I will order
Okay.
mine properly.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, the whole thing, a book can change your
Going
life.
in.
And you don't know what book, what story, what message you're going to hear that's going to change your life. And listen, sometimes when something just lands, you're like, okay, that's for me. Like, so I know you're doing the drawing and you don't know, like I see you've got the wheel right there.
Gina just got in there. Anyone who calls in gets into the drawing that we
Okay.
call. And then all the commenters I'm adding also who join us on LinkedIn Live. So at the end, there's going to be hundreds in here. And
Oh,
every
it's
one
getting
of our
hefty.
guests, we have 22 people coming live in the studio are giving something away. But then also we have Celsius merchandise, Owl merchandise, and a few extra surprises that I can't
What's
share
in the
just yet.
box?
Something in that box. Where's
What's in the box?
special box? We got to get the box for you.
We got to get the box.
Okay, but I have to leave. So final words before I leave. You're good, Jonathan. You're going to be alone. We are ditching you. By the way, we're putting someone in the studio in a minute.
Okay,
I know
I'm good.
We are out of here. So
How long do I have left on this stream?
Um,
That's all I need to know.
You're good until 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Okay, so I got another hour. So I will figure out how to switch.
5
but yeah.
p.m. Someone will come back. It's Joy McAdams who
Okay.
will be joining you and
In studio.
Yes, I will send you an email.
In studio and in stream.
I'll text you. Yep.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you guys for calling me. That was super fun.
Gina, thank you. You are a doll. You're a pleasure. Take care.
Hey,
Aw, thank
Gina. Ciao, ciao,
Ciao,
ciao.
ciao. Have a
Okay,
beautiful day.
my closing remarks.
Closing remarks.
Closing remarks. It's never too early. Never. And we have some people joining us right now. And never too late. Really, to reinvent your career, to write a book. Actually, one of my clients turned 70 this year.
Ooh.
And she just launched. We launched her book this week. At
Stop it.
70.
Stop it.
Never too late.
What a powerhouse.
Yeah. So do it. I know you're part of that 80%.
Right. And you don't need to wait that long.
Rooting for you.
Exactly. All right, perfect.
All right.
So let me hug you and then let's get you out of here.
Okay. That was awesome. That was great.
I'm hugging her on her way out. Come on. I got to do the right thing.
Okay. Squeezing through. Nothing's falling on us. Come through.
Don't break the set. You're not done using it, Jonathan. He can't hear me. He doesn't have his headphones.
I just X'd out. All right, so we got another hour. Oh, we just lost it. Where do you want me? Go right there. All right, let's check in with the host, and then we will get started. Oh, we got two. We got two in.
One talking, one not talking.
One talking, one not talking. Perfect. All right.
You look different out of your cop out.
Oh, did you see it? All right. So we have. Oh, there we go.
I'm back. Oh, and we got
So
Brian
who do we got?
Shulman and Nancy. Okay. Well, guys, we are going over to Kapow. I'm only here for another 5 minutes or so to introduce this
All right, so
this awesome
give me
guest.
2 minutes.
I had to meet.
minutes.
Yeah, you go to the bathroom. This guy's gone like he's on number 3 only, guys. We got only like 18 hours left. You know, what are we gonna
Should we time him? Should we time how long it takes him? No pressure. No pressure at all, Jonathan.
No, lots of pressure. Probably.
What is your vote? What do you guys think he's going to get to?
Ooh,
I think
Jeopardy
he's going to get to 8 Celsius. What do you guys think? Nancy, Brian, what's your vote?
For how long?
Yeah, how many Celsiuses does he drink by 12 noon tomorrow?
Oh, gosh.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with 11.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
Good
25
guess.
hours.
Brian, what do you think?
25
3.
hours. I mean,
He's at 2.5 already. We started at 11. We're at 3. And
I think
remember,
consumption will increase later.
that's what
That's
I
what I'm
agree.
betting. That's what I'm betting on.
Okay.
How many did you say?
I said 8.
8. By what time?
12 noon tomorrow.
12. Then, oh,
Only 25 hours straight.
I'm going 12.
And how cool is this? This is no joke. We have guests all the way to 2 p.m. coming through the studio, one at a time. We've recruited everybody, and we're going to recruit more at Kapow Noodle Bar to try to fill up the 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and 4 p.m. slots. And we're just having fun. People are shuffling through here all day. And I'm really excited about our guest today, Eric Rogel. Go ahead and tell the world a little bit about what you're up to these days.
Oh, man, got a lot going on these days. I have the Bold Men Brotherhood.
Okay.
Which is a mastermind for men who want to be the best leader, the best father, the best husband they can be. And so we meet weekly with those guys. So that's coming up. My next book is coming out in September.
Okay.
It's called Lions Raised as Lambs. And that's another one about men who have been raised to be a little quiet, be a little soft. And how do you tap back in to that beast that's inside you so you can be successful in everything that you do the right way, tapping into it the right way and be the most successful guy you can be.
Cool. And what are the prizes that you're giving away? Right. We talked to every single guest that has come through the studio, and people have given away, like Tinterol did free tints. That was one of the coolest ones. Then our last guest, you see these 2 books, is giving away one of our books to each person that wins. So what is the thing that you are raffling off? So that way all our audience knows.
It's called Lions Raised as Lambs. And that's another one about men who have been raised.
Oh, we're getting
to be a little quiet.
repeat. I don't know what's going on. Nancy, Brian, are you guys shuffling something on the back end?
No, we haven't changed anything on our end. I don't hear feedback.
no, you sound clear on our side.
Yeah, no feedback in the studio.
We had a loop, right?
Yeah, we had a little loop. I thought it was that important. You guys wanted to hear it again.
I thought that was like skill. They're like replay. Well, it's working.
It was so important. We wanted to highlight it twice. Yes, we did it on purpose.
We're doing some DJ mixes over here.
I know Brian's a DJ at the end of the day, so I know he can loop things. So So what's
So
the giveaway?
We'll do a 1 hour consult with me. I'll take them through some of the stuff that I do. Give them 1 hour with me where they're going to get some really incredible strategies that they can use to just elevate everything in their life, live with more purpose, more passion. And we'll do that.
Cool.
And when the book comes out, they'll get a copy of the book when it comes out. So we'll do that.
Okay, you guys heard it from him. It's going in. It's going in the cup. We have all these raffles, right, that are going to be given away 11 to 12 o'clock tomorrow morning. Of course, Celsius merchandise, Owl merchandise, and a big surprise that I'm not allowed to share. You just have to be there because if you go, you get. That's my big philosophy in life. When everyone always has these expectations of like, I'm going to show up because I'm going to get this or that. I'm like, no, it's like you show up to things and just good outcomes come out, right? Is that true?
Exactly. That's what it is. That's most of it, right? Just
It is.
showing up.
Okay, enough about me. Let's see these. Let's see Brian. Brian, welcome to the show. You know, Nancy's been on the entire time, but I want to say hello. My good friend,
Hey.
Wes, that was in Orlando.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see both of you.
And we're in your good old town of Boca Raton, Florida.
Yeah.
Live down here for a little bit.
Yeah, that was home for a little bit for me, and yeah, you're
Brian
all
didn't live down here? Why do I think Brian lived here? Am I crazy?
No, Brian.
No.
West Coast.
No, West Coast.
For some reason, I thought you spent a good amount of time in South Florida. Maybe I got that
Because
wrong.
we hung out a bunch.
Maybe that's what alcohol does to you. When you drink alcohol, you take Nancy's story and you make it Brian's story at the end of the day. Well, I got to get over to Kapow Noodle Bar because I had a whole group of people waiting for me, and they wanna see this stream live in front of a live audience. So I'm gonna go get Jonathan Palmer, put him in the studio, of course, and let you guys do your thing. But for now, Eric, talk to Nancy and Brian, okay?
Yeah. What's happening, Nancy and Brian? How you doing?
We're
Doing well.
How are
the
you?
beard is strong. The beard is strong.
Good. Yeah, I wanted to come on early. I figured by tomorrow or late night, overnight, it was going to get crazy. I can't wait to watch it. I just didn't want to be here for it. So
yeah,
it's one of those things, right? You want to see it, you just don't want to be a part of it.
That's right.
Exactly.
So I know Jonathan will come back. I'll have a bunch of questions for you, but I'm going to start with ones that I know he won't ask.
All right, perfect.
We'll start with, what's your favorite color?
Blue. Easy. That's an easy, quick one.
All right. Getting harder. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh man, what Moose Tracks or some? Yeah, Moose Tracks.
Oh yeah,
Moose
that's
Tracks.
a good
Moose
one.
Tracks the best. It's like a surprise.
Did you know that Moose Tracks comes in mint as well?
No, but I will be avoiding that.
Then for you, it's not as exciting.
I have off camera here. I have Dawn, and mint ice cream is one of her. Mint chocolate chip is her favorite. So knowing that there's a mint Moose Tracks, I think we may have to try that.
There you go.
Delicious. All right. And see, I don't want to ask anything business related because I don't want to, Jonathan, I know, has some great questions for you. So, I'll go with, would you like to be a bird, a fish, or a flying fish?
This thing's gone off the rails already. I just want to.
And we're not drinking.
Right, I was going to say, a bird, a fish, or a flying fish? Well, I guess bird. I'm going to go with bird. Because flying fish can't get up.
Right,
can't soar around. So I'm going to go with bird.
Scripture, right? You get out, but you can't go anywhere. Like that's, if you're a fish, you're in. If
jump.
you're a bird, you're out. If you're a flying fish, it's like, great.
Right. All right, I'm gonna take you back a little bit. So you're a kid sitting in front of the TV. What was the Saturday morning cartoon that you were watching?
Oh, it had to be Batman. Always my favorite.
Yes.
I watched Batman cartoons until I couldn't see straight.
All right, so when you were watching Batman, what was the favorite cereal that you were eating?
Oh man, I gotta say, when I was a kid, what was it? Crunch Berries?
Okay, yeah.
Right? Is it Crunch Berries or
Tore up
Captain
the roof of your
Crunch
mouth.
Berries? Right?
Yeah.
It's the one that it turned the roof of your mouth into a car wash. It had all this stuff.
Ah! and then you had about 30 seconds before it became too soggy to eat.
Right.
That's
Like,
right,
you
exactly.
had about 30 seconds of crunchability, and then it was over.
Yeah.
Now-
Fine window. It's a fine window.
Oh, Jonathan, I want to make sure.
Just
Too
soggy.
soggy.
Right.
No in between.
So the question is, the big question of the moment, and I want both of your opinions on this, is what goes first, the milk or the cereal?
Cereal first, milk on top.
Cereal first. I am a milk first, cereal on top,
no.
because that maximizes crunchability.
Yeah, but when
There you go. Maximum
Slowly,
responsibility.
Hashtag
Cereal
maximize.
I love that.
Someone put that in the
No,
comments.
Then you get no
Okay,
Vince.
fair,
There
fair,
you go.
fair. All right,
See,
so
I'm
I
not-
wasn't introduced.
Portion control. You get
Portion control. Hey, good point. I wasn't introduced. So, our next guest, tell me about yourself.
So Eric Rogel, I don't know if you heard
Eric?
that part. I have a company called Bold Men Initiative, and I've got Bold Men Brotherhood, which is a mastermind for men, which is all about
I love that.
getting them being the best, most capable, confident leader, father, husband that they can be. So we've got a bunch of men in that. We meet every week, and we just get guys rocking. I do that. I have Bold Men Adventures, where we take these guys out into nature, because I'm
Oh my
huge on nature. Challenge them mentally, physically, spiritually, and we get them to push themselves.
This is, I love this. I feel like this is the biggest challenge that men have. And I'm like, this sounds super extreme, but it's this bad. We have an epidemic where men do not have friends.
No, zero.
Men do not have friends. We are so aligned with our missions all the time. We are so focused on making money and success because it's in our DNA to be hunters and constantly looking for the next thing. Men do not have friends. So then what do? Their wives, their partners become their therapists. And that is very feminine energy. You need to be around more men. So this is actually something that I'm absolutely loving. I'm absolutely passionate about. So tell me more about that. Why is it that men do not have friends in society today?
There's a bunch of reasons for that. And what I love what you just said was, so many of the men that come through the stuff that we do, one of the things they say is, shit, I didn't know anything like this existed. Like they're just, they'll say something to a buddy of theirs and they'll go, some shit's happening in my marriage or whatever. And the guy goes, let's go grab a beer and, watch the game and it'll be fine. Right.
Yeah.
So even when they do have friends, it's not a friend that you can
It's very service level.
go to, right. Go deep and we do that differently. It's what I call vulnerability from strength. So it's getting real. We have a thing in the group. It's the Sacred 7 core values. And that's courage, honesty, integrity, commitment, duty, honor, and love.
Wow.
So if we just take the first 3, courage, honesty, and integrity, if you have the courage, if you have the balls to be ruthlessly honest with yourself and then with another man, just saying as a friendship, then you can live in integrity because you're being real.
Right.
That's what's so important. And so we get guys to learn how to do that. The reason I think they don't have friends is because, listen, as men, we're independent.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's good. We want to be independent.
Right.
Women like groups. We always say men is me, women is we.
Interesting.
So we want to be, but we do have this innate thing in us where when we need help or assistance, we'd rather go to men and have men by our side, shoulder to shoulder. That's the brotherhood.
Right.
So you got to build that brotherhood to have that trust, the courage, the honesty, the integrity, all of that built in. Men don't do that.
They don't.
They see it as a weakness. They see it as feminine, like you said, feminine energy. It's not. When you do it from strength. So we have the 4 foundational archetypes that we use in our work: warrior, lover, king, hero.
Ooh, tell me about that.
Yeah.
What are each one? Are they stages that we go through our maturity or what?
Things we step into and we integrate,
Interesting.
and it's at different points when we're going. So the warrior, just for lack of, to make it simplistic, is our masculine energy, right? So you just mentioned feminine energy. The warriors are masculine, and we all have this. Men and women have this. Everybody's got it. The masculine energy in us are things like decision, bold, leader, steward, adventurous, risk taker, right? Guardian. All those things are our masculine side, our warrior side. The lover side, that's our heart side, right? So that's the feminine energy. Those are things. Now, when I first started doing this work, I thought, shit, the feminine side's weak. I don't want to be weak.
Right.
I was raised weak. I had to fight to get strong.
Right.
I'm not going back.
Right.
I'm not
right.
going back. And
Right.
a lot of men are like that. They
Absolutely.
fight out and they go, that's weak. So you get into the heart side, but it's things like wisdom comes from there, which is beautiful. Wisdom is just a deep experience we share from here. Right. Rather than from here.
Right.
Wisdom, creativity, playfulness, generosity, abundance, mystery, all the stuff that makes life so juicy and delicious, right? That's the lover side.
Right.
Now, when you take your warrior side and your lover side and you can integrate them, that's when you're living from king. You have both sides of this. So you're not this barbarian warrior with no heart, just running over people. And you're not this wishy-washy, weak, soft, lovey-dovey. It's both. Leading with your warrior, supporting with your lover, integrating those, and you're from king. So when we do any of our work, that's where we get men is always remember you're coming from your king. lead first with your warrior, support with that beautiful lover. That's the leader, the husband, the father you want to be.
Wow, that is so powerful. And that is so up my alley because I'll be vulnerable with you. I grew up with the Hulk Hogan's, the Macho Man Randy Savage, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Rockies, be really big and muscular because that is what makes you a man. You got to have a physical presence, hollow on the inside, emotionless, like Terminator, And what I found is that as soon as a woman would just peel back one layer, I was like a Three Musketeers bar. I was super soft on the inside and I would just crumble. And then I was not embodying what I projected to the world was not what I embodied on the inside. And then as soon as they identified that weakness within me, I'd lose them.
Yeah, because you were coming from your lover. They don't want to see that. They want to see warrior first. That's what attracted them to you. The warrior that you had. But then once you went in and peeled that back, and like you said, you went into lover, but it's what we call a limiting lover. So just like there's warrior and lover.
I love that there's terms to these things. I've never heard it. I love that it's a thing.
Gotta follow my work.
Right. Oh man, I need to now. Yeah. Okay. Tell me about it.
So listen, so look at it this way. We have the yin and yang symbol, shows it beautifully, right? Yin and yang, you have the opposites. So you have the warrior and the lover, the masculine and the feminine are the opposites. But within each, we have the empowered and the limiting. So feel this. If you've got the empowered side on the warrior is what I told you a minute ago. Boldness, decision, leadership, capability, confidence, risk-taking, a guardian, all of those things that we love, right? That are so attractive. But on the limiting side is angry, abusive, violent, overbearing, inconsiderate, macho, which is one because it's like a false bravado.
Right.
We've got that, and
it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, exactly.
My protective shield.
All of those things are the limiting side of the warrior. That's the stuff when you hear somebody say, and I get asked this a lot. What do you think of toxic masculinity? Well, masculinity is not toxic. It's beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful. The empowered side. Stuff you're talking about, that's the limiting side. So the thing is not to show up in the limiting warrior. We want to show up in our empowered warrior. So on the lover side, same thing, empowered and limited. On the empowering side, we have the stuff we talked about, wisdom and generosity and abundance and beauty and creativity and playfulness and all that stuff, right? The limiting side is jealousy and tearing down and manipulation and scheming and all of insatiable and all those things where you just can't get anything. Weakness, showing up weak, soft, that's limiting. So when we show up this way, if we don't show up with our empowered warrior supported by our empowered lover, that's how we show up to these women. And so when you said you peeled back and then you got like the gooey nougat was in there and it was all soft and gooey, and she's like, the hell just happened? What happened to my warrior? Where was
Right. It's a house of cards.
Right.
Yeah.
So they want the empowered lover, which is they want your wisdom, your generosity, your creativity, all of those things. Love is a very powerful part of the lover, obviously the heart side. So when they see us coming in with this empowered warrior, strong, confident, right? A leader, decisive. And on the other side, we have that wisdom and that beauty and that generosity. Think about how that combination runs.
So I got a question for you.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, because this is so up my alley. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Can I grow with a partner and start embodying these things? Or do I almost have to go on my own journey, stay single for a while, like go learn a skill, go learn the thing, and then return back to someone? Is it something that you can do with a partner, or you got to ride it solo sometimes?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say the answer is it depends on the partner. Because some women have been, and listen, I don't blame them.
I don't either.
They have been through.
I don't either.
I call them man children, right? They just, they had.
I think that's most women. I'll be honest, because how many have done this work?
Right, and they end up being a mommy. They come in as a mommy because they need to take care of this guy. Right. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I know that one well. Because it's not like I haven't shown up like that in relationships.
Right.
Fortunately, now I've got a relationship with a beautiful woman. He's off camera.
She is gorgeous. Yeah, there you go.
And she and I are growing together, right? So I had done the work before. She got into doing the work and understands it. Now we're doing this.
Wow.
Right? So the thing is, I always recommend, look, get yourself squared away first. because then you're not bringing your shit into this relationship,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
And a lot of times, if you're coming from that weak lover, you're coming from being too soft, you're going to attract that kind of woman who wants to mommy you, try to raise you into a
That's
man,
why,
do all that shit.
yeah.
You get it first, you're going to attract the kind of woman you want, and she will
Absolutely.
be attracted to you. It's a two-way thing. And I always tell guys, look, you can always tell when the guy is insecure because he wants to be here and date a woman who's down here because it makes him feel better, but it doesn't support anything.
Right, right.
Or you have the guys that do this, right? They're trying to keep her down because the minute she wants to step into her power, he feels weak, right? On the flip side, you have the women who want to keep the power because for whatever reason, they want that weak man. I always tell women, you can't expect him to step up to the plate when you're standing on it.
Wow, I love that.
Right.
I
So
love
you
that,
got to
yes.
move out of the way to allow him to grow. So it becomes this.
Right.
Now you're supporting each other. I can be vulnerable with Dawn because she understands, right? If I screw up, and listen, things happen. We're on a journey, right? And the journey's never a straight line like this.
It's not linear.
It's
not-
like, you've got some up and down days and shit happens and I'll screw
Right.
up and, own it. Got to get vulnerable with her. And like, here's what's going to happen. Here's what we're going to do going forward. And that's how it is. And so we're growing together. And that's what I think. Get yourself squared away first. Get yourself to that king archetype where you have that warrior side, that confidence, that self-confidence, that ability. And then you have that lover side. And that's the hardest thing for men. Trust me when I tell you, it's so easy to tap into our warrior. Go run around in the woods and shoot guns.
Right.
Go hunting and do
Right,
the whole thing. And there's tons of, workshops out there, warrior workshops, things that are great. Those are all great. Guys ask me all the time, what do you think of this one? What do you think of this one? What do you think of this one? I'm like, look, as long as people aren't getting injured or hurt or they're giving you bad advice, do it. Tap into your warrior. But the lover is the hard part. And I think you can feel that.
Absolutely.
Come from your empowered lover and come from wisdom and love and vulnerability from strength and all those other things and be open and real with the woman in your life terrifies so many of us, man. We're just like, try doing that, been down that road. She's like, yeah, you're a weak ass and I'm gone.
Right. And how much of it do you feel is just like childhood trauma? It was your father. It's generational trauma. It's just not having these modalities or these things to tap into. And then we just get stuck. Cause they talk about the theta state, 7 years old, and you're kind of like, almost like you're somewhat programmed by then. And it's like, do you believe that a lot of it is rooted in childhood trauma? It's like something to overcome from that.
Oh yeah. And I mean, this is, one of the things we talk about is where did it happen? So like for me, I'll just give you an example. For me, there's two things that come to mind right away in my life that hit, that were core patterns that I had. They both happened with my mom. One, I was real young. I don't know, 5, 6 years old. I'm out in the playground playing with a bunch of kids who are my age, maybe even a little bit older. And we're playing with rocks and doing dumb shit. And I smashed my finger on a rock and I cut it open. I don't think it's a big deal. I go to my mother and I go, Mom, look what I did. She loses it. She freaks out. And now she decides playing in the playground with older boys is dangerous. You're going to sit inside and be an indoor boy and you're going to read comic books and not go outside and play. It's too dangerous. So at 6 years old, I go, shit, play is dangerous. It's not fun. It's dangerous. I can't play with other boys. I can't be out in the playground. I got to be inside. So that locked in on me and kept me small, kept me inside. At 12, my parents divorced. My mom was devastated by this. And so her core thing was, now I'm the man of the house at 12. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Right. I'm this little weak indoor boy who.
Oh, even worse.
Right. And I don't know what I'm doing.
Even worse. Yeah.
Mom's crying all the time. One of the things she's telling me is, don't be like your father. Promise me you will never be like your father. Don't be like your father.
What does that do to a young boy?
And I'm like, what do you mean? Dad's awesome. He's got a great job. He's good looking. People love him. He's got a motorcycle and a Jeep. And he's, what do you mean? Don't be like your father. That's the guy I want to be. So now I'm all confused. And the biggest thing that happened, so I'm 12 years old. Mom's crying all the time. What do you do when you're a 12-year-old boy and mom is crying and you want her to stop crying? How do you handle that as a kid?
I wouldn't even know where to start if I'm a young kid.
So for me, you don't. You look for a strategy and that's, what you end up with. So for me, the strategy was, well, I'm going to be cute and funny. hey, mom, ooh, ooh, ooh," right?
Right,
The
right,
cute, funny
right.
guy, and she would
Make her
laugh
smile, yeah.
and stop crying.
Mm.
So, brother, I took that into my adult relationships.
Wow.
So every adult relationship I'd have with a woman, when she would get upset or start crying or get angry or do whatever, I'm cute, funny guy. Hey, babe, listen, let's just whatever. And then she gets more pissed off. And I'm thinking, why is this not working?
Worked before when I was a cute little kid.
Why is cute, funny guy not working? Right. So we have these things that happen in our lives. So that's why it's so tough for us as men, because, we have these things that are ingrained, and it's, it's a similar flavor for all of us. We
Right,
always say
right.
same shit, different flavor.
Right,
Right.
right.
So for me, that's how it came up. And I had to fight to get through that. Fortunately, I had a great mentor, guy that I work with now, a guy named Rob James, and he grew up the complete opposite I grew up. He grew up in his masculine. He was on a cattle ranch up here in Fort Pierce from a young age, and then went into the Marines.
Mm.
And here I am, a little indoor boy trying to do whatever. And I work with him to get tapped into my masculine. But once I got into that, then it became, how do I get this lover side that I had also crammed down and was, cute, funny guy and doing silly shit and, being weak and afraid and all that kind of stuff. Now that's got to get tapped into.
Wow.
So yeah, man, but you can, and I'll tell you this over and over and over, you can get past it. I mean, the men that we work with do. They're like, dude, I wish I knew this when I was, in my teens, in my 20s.
So so explain to me your process. Like when you bring on a new client or a man comes through, like is it a therapy session? Is it identifying these core memories and going back and identifying, because I feel like in order to really move beyond the experience, you have to sit with it. You have to recognize, like, you didn't just one day realize I'm the funny guy, and it was because of this thing that happened when I was 7 years old, and this thing that happened when my mom got a divorce. We had to go back. We had to like peel the layers, right? We had to like start, like, I don't know if you wrote it down. What was your strategy to start identifying where that came from?
Well, I work with Rob, and he's got a group that's down here that's called Self-Discovery, and I've been doing that for years and years and years. And there's a lot of in-depth core shit that goes through that. There are some really excellent trainers that do that. They're above my pay grade. They get into.
I love the
core stuff.
vulnerability.
Yeah. They get in there. I work specifically with men, and the reason why is because, look, we talked about wisdom, right? Wisdom comes from experience, and for me, I went through it. I took the journey, so I can recognize it in other men, and I can guide other men. So that's why, for me, I don't want to say easy. Easy isn't the word. It's ingrained. It's just something that I do.
Dude, yeah.
I'm like, dude, I could see that.
Right. You could just like diagnose them on the spot.
So the thing that we do in my work is it's all about just tapping into king. That's like step one, tap into king. So we go through the warrior. What does it look like? Where are you coming from? We have lists of key words. Are you coming from anger and overbearing? And I heard you say in the last thing, mansplaining and wanting to like assert things over. We look at that. Where can you get into the empowered warrior? This is what the empowered warrior looks like, and this is what you need to take on. Then we go into the lover side, and we do that. And then it's put those things together, get him as king, and we have him write out warrior statements, lover statements, king statements, and tap more and more into that. And when we do the mastermind stuff, guys will come in, we talk about wins, we talk about shit you're going through, and it's like, all right, what are you going through? Well, here's how communication, is ideal. Here's how leading somebody in that situation is ideal from warrior, lover, king.
Wow.
And it just becomes this easy formula that guys can remember. Lead with my warrior, support my lover always. That's what we call right order. Masculine. Warrior first, lover supports. That's your king.
And I want to speak to the results of going through this process for a second, because I would imagine that the more that you start embodying these things, the better you perform at your career, the better you show up for your family, the more success you reach, the better the opportunities that come. Because I found that when I only worked on the outside things, it's like I could only reach a certain level. I could only reach a certain degree. When I started doing this kind of work on myself, all of a sudden, I didn't have to play a role. I was the role.
That's
and
being it more important than doing. So we always say, be more than do. Right? Do is running on a hamster wheel over and over and over
just
again.
Chasing achievement.
Right.
Chasing
So
achievement.
I tell guys, be the example. Right? That really is what it boils down to. Like if you can operate from king at the level that you're operating a king, and I don't care if you're a king here or a king here, right? Operating from that king, you're an example to everybody around you, right? You're an example to your kids, you're an example to the people you work with, your friends, guys that are around. And that's what these guys strive for. When you talked about results, I mean, last year alone, I think we turned around, 4 marriages just last year. Guys, literally, I had 2 guys who were out the door, living separately from their wives. Thought this would not. I had one guy tell me, we had an hour. I got him on the phone for about an hour, and I was telling him, listen, bro, this is what we're going to do. Warrior, lover, king. Just follow me on it. You're going to get results. Things are going to happen. And look, even if she leaves you, you're going to be stepping into your king. You'll find the perfect queen for you, right? Because love having a queen. Powerful king should have a powerful queen. This is not about, and people say all the time, you work with men, you must hate women. I'm like, God, no, I love women. They're amazing. Women are the most amazing creatures we have. Beautiful, powerful. And when you have that beautiful, powerful queen next to you, I got one right here, right? When you have a beautiful, powerful queen next to you, you level up yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
You are just doing this with each other, challenge each other, push each other.
Not only this, but I have to interject.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, have you ever been like really, really sick before? Have you ever been like really sick? Like just you're dying of a cold. And when a woman just lays next to you, there is like a healing energy to a woman just being by your side. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
That's what we call the divine feminine, the divine goddess.
It's like you get better 3 days earlier than if like my dumbass is like sitting on the couch, just like, oh, I'm dead. I'm waiting for this to feel. And a woman just.
We're magical creatures. That's what it is.
It has to be. I don't know what that is, but I hope it resonates.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I told you, it's a divine goddess. It's beautiful. When you experience it, it's like nothing else. And the women, when they experience men and their king, they're like, oh, yeah, that. Like, oh, yeah, I never knew that I could have that. I didn't even realize. But that's it.
Right.
They want safety and security. They want that strength, but they want it
safety.
Love. They want that on the other side, right?
Yes.
So you can be a barbarian if you want, but if you have that love on the other side. So with the men, what I find happens is these guys that are out, right? So the one guy says to me, I'm telling him about warrior, lover, king, the whole thing. He's like, yeah, all right, let's do it. 4 weeks later, he tells me, look, dude, I got to be honest with you. When we first met and you told me what we were going to do, he said, I thought everything you said was bullshit. I was like, this guy's out of his mind. This is bullshit. And he said, but I was drowning. And if you threw me a bowling ball, I was going to reach for it. So I was in. Let's do it. 4 weeks later, his marriage is turning around. He and his wife have a great relationship. They're starting to have intimacy again. They're talking now. They put the divorce thing on hold. Talking about, and he said, first of all, I didn't think it was going to happen at all. Second of all, I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. And what it is, and at first I have a lot of guys that I work with that come in and they go, well, how come I'm sitting in this room with you or I'm on this Zoom call with you and she's not? Shouldn't she be? And I tell them, when you shift, she'll shift because you're showing up, little boy, weak, and you're limiting lover, whatever, or even in your limiting warrior, like you're overbearing, you're angry all the time. When you start to shift into your king, she can relax into her queen.
Absolutely.
And that's just the magic of it right there.
Yes.
I have to tell you that this is such good information for women as well, right? For us to gain understanding of the different, all the different ways these things come into play. So I think this is valuable information, not just for men. You're working with men, which is amazing. But I think that all of the queens that are out there that are not finding their king, here's your key to it, and understanding why your partner may be stuck, right? And what's there, and how we can nurture and help as a partner, not take over, but nurture and help our partners become the best version of them. I really think like this is just put it up, pink cover on it, and it's for women. It's incredible information that women. It's valuable for us as well.
I really appreciate you saying that, and I love that, and that you're getting that. And what I would say, I would add one thing to when you said nurture them and support them to being their best. That's the lover. The warrior side for the women on leading that is demand his best.
Yes.
Don't put up with his bullshit.
Right.
Challenge him. Ask him why he's not stepping up. Show him where he's not stepping up. I mean, listen, Dawn will do that to me. Even at the level I'm at, I look at her and it's like, look, if I'm not doing what I need to be doing, and one of my core patterns is comfort. I love my comfort.
Oh, but that's just being the human.
Right.
That's
I
just
just love
that's a
my
part of the
comfort.
human experience.
So for me, it's about pushing out of comfort, breaking patterns,
Oh
doing
yeah.
things new.
Oh yeah.
And I've taken on new levels of that. And I have her going, if I get too comfortable, hey, what are you doing? Right? You got to step into this. So I would say on that, absolutely love them, nurture them, but challenge them.
Yes.
Or tell them to step up, and not from anger, from love. All of this
Right.
comes from love, really.
Right,
truly.
right.
It's
Again,
all work.
wisdom, like things you know, but you need to hear, kind of thing. Because I know love and nurturing only gets me so far in my relationship until I say, okay, here's the deal. This is my expectation of you. What's your expectation of me? Go, do.
Right. There you go. And here's the thing I'll ask you, because you brought up the women. So tell me if you guys see this. But I've done some talking to some women's groups over the years, and I will say to them, a lot of them are like, he drives me crazy. I don't know what it is, or the marriage is like chipping away. And I'll say to her, I'll say to them as a group, who makes the decisions in the house? And most of the time it's the woman, because he'll come home from work and she'll go, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? And he'll go, I don't care. Whatever you want to do. You decide. Whatever restaurant you want to go to, whatever you want to make. You go, what movie do you want to go see? Oh, I don't care. Whatever you want to see or whatever you want to watch. What it is decision is a warrior trait. And that's something
Absolutely.
that, on our
Absolutely,
side.
yes.
So when we start handing that over to our partner over and over and over, like I said, women are amazing creatures, right? You will step into your warrior in our place. That's when I said, you got to ask them to step up, but you got to get out of the way. So the answer is no, screw you. You make the decision.
Oh yeah.
A non-answer. Like, make it. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
A non-answer. Like a non-answer is one of the most frustrating things.
Yeah.
If I had an opinion or wanted something, and I guess men just need to trust that they're with a woman like this, I would have said, hey, let's go to blank for dinner. I'm craving this, whatever it is, I really want to see the new blank movie. So when I'm asking, right, it's because either I have too many choices, I'm indecisive, I'm exhausted, or I really don't care. And I just don't want to make another decision.
Yep, I agree. And, I hear that a lot. And so decision is warrior, right? It's empowered warrior is decisiveness, right? And we feel like we're being nice guy. Nice guy has killed this in us. This is why.
Oh my God, nice
right?
guy syndrome.
Nice guys. Oh, whatever you want to do, and I'll take care of it.
Right.
I've had women come to me and say, like what you just said. All I want to do is have him come home from work and go, here's what we're going to do for dinner. Here's what we're doing after dinner. I want you to wear that dress that I love. And she's like, I can just give him a hug and relax and not have to make another decision.
Absolutely.
And allow that to happen. And allowing is, a lover.
It's just so funny because it goes back to like kind of how I shared that it's like you peel one layer and then it's like soft inside. Look at the way that men are like for a first date. The guy makes the plan. The guy buys the dinner. The guy orchestrates what the rest of the night is going to look like. What happens that as soon as we get comfortable in a relationship, all that stuff disappears. And like all of a sudden it's like one layer's peeled. Now, okay, honeymoon stage is over. Now I don't need to do all the things anymore. I don't need to make the plans. I don't need to impress her anymore. Now I could just be my normal lazy self. And that is what happens when you don't embody this king energy and you're just putting on a show, that is our society.
Feel the comfort in. You want to get comfortable, right?
You want to get chasing
comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a quick question. So what would be, I guess, a good strategy when we're bumping up against the nice guy, in the place, like we get there and we're getting to frustration, we're getting to resentment, we're getting to anger, we're getting to, all these places that impact our relationships negatively.
Yeah.
And some men can handle the head on, but in order for our messages to be heard, what's the best way to approach someone?
Love that. And I will tell you, I get this all the time. So we talked about warrior, lover, king, and I said it was right order.
Right.
So when I work with companies, corporations, I do some of these workshops for them, for their leadership, right? And it's warrior, lover, king, queen. And the communication is so simple. We have this ingrained in us. I call it the software of our soul, right? It's the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey.
Love it. Hero of the
Anytime you see that, right? anytime you see the hero's journey, what happens? They have to go through challenges first, and then they come through what he called the gift of the goddess, the return home as the king.
Right.
It's usually 13, 14 steps, whatever, depends on who you talk to.
Right.
I'm making it real simple. Challenge. So the warrior has to tap in, find their power, their passion, the gift of the goddess, return home as the king. Ultimately defeat whatever the challenge is, something. This is ingrained in us. We love hearing, look at any movie, any story, Star Wars, Lion King, Harry Potter, Wizard of Oz. It doesn't matter. Every single story is every single story. And Joseph Campbell, that was his genius. So what I tell people is, if you do your communication from warrior, lover, in your case, queen, right? It's going to land right. Normally, what people want to do is, especially in companies and in leadership, they want to lead with the lover, right? Because what they want to do is they want to soften the blow. So it's like, oh, listen, we love you. And Jonathan, oh, your videos are amazing. And you're just spectacular and everything. And then boom, they hit you with the drop. Well, we're going to have to fire your ass. You're out. Right? It's just like, it doesn't.
Right.
And in relationships, it might be, babe, I love you. And we've been together for 10 years and things are awesome. But if you don't stop doing this shit, I'm out. Right? It's just wrong. It doesn't land right. And then what happens is when you leave with that lover, people get this trigger, this reaction. Like, it could be, why is this guy blowing smoke up my ass? Like, what's coming next? Like, you're waiting for the other shoe to fall. It's not genuine. It's not authentic. People come to me all the time and they're like, how do I get authentic communication? Well, come from your empowered warrior first. Just get it out. So I would say to you, like, hey, Jonathan, listen, we made a decision. We're not going to be able to use you for the video production anymore. So we're going to have to let you go. But we love everything that you've done. We're happy to help you find a new place. We're going to keep you on for a consultant for 3 months until you find a spot. If there's anything we can do to help you, any letters of whatever, let me know. Do you have any questions? How does that feel?
Oh, much better.
Right. Because I supported that with the lover on the other side. Right. So the beginning was, look, decisive. We made a decision. Here's what happened. Now you got that out of the way. Now you can do the support with the reason why, and here's what we're going to do for you. Same thing in a relationship communication. You could say, babe, listen, decided we need to have a conversation. The conversation I want to have about is XYZ. And I want to get to a point where we can, I want to talk about this from here, from love. This is not about making you wrong or anything's wrong. I want to make it more ideal. And here's what my ideal looks like. And go from there. I don't want to make decisions anymore. It's way more ideal for me if you just make the decisions. And the way that I couch this with a lot of the men that I work with is everyone around you has a voice, not a vote. So you're going to take everyone's opinion. You can take, your husband can take your opinion, where you want to go, your suggestions, everything, and then put that around and go, this is my decision. Here's what I decided. And then everybody's happy. Everybody had a say in it. Everybody had a voice. But he's coming from King. Everyone has an option on what's going on in there. And it's communicated from warrior, lover into King.
I love it. I love it. This is so good. So we got to wrap it up. So how do people reach out to you? How do they contact you for this men's group? I know I'm going to be joining it because, man, I am always.
When are you starting the women's group?
Hey, maybe we got an idea there, but it's like I'm always looking for a group of men to help me elevate it. It sounds like this guy's the guy. So how do people contact you?
So listen, we're on LinkedIn right now. So just go to my LinkedIn, connect with me, follow with me. This is what I always look for, like people that are bold and courageous. I talked about the sacred 7 core values, right? Courage, honesty. Have the honesty, like you just said. Like, I want to be part of this group. I need some of this stuff. I want to learn more about it. As guys, what's really cool is I call it the Heisman hand check, because I'll say to guys like, okay, here's what we do. And they go, oh, that sounds great. I love it. And I'm like, all right, so when are we going to get started? No, I'm good.
Oh no, I'm a battery ram. I'm going directly into it. Yes. No.
All right, so I love bold. I love courageous. We're on LinkedIn. It's super easy just to go to Eric Rogel. I'm the only Eric Rogel on LinkedIn. Follow me, connect with me, DM me. I love having conversations with guys. We'll have a conversation. We can do it right in the messenger. We can set up, if you want to talk more about it, learn more about it, we can do that. But that is absolutely the easiest. Coming up very, very shortly, I have a Bold Men Brotherhood is the name of the group. That website, there was some technical issues with it for the last year. Just got them rectified. That's going to be out in the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
You'll be able to go to that. Just click a link and boom, you're in. Join us. It's great. We got some core guys that are in there small. I like to keep the group small. We get a little bigger, we'll do another one. Keep the group small. We get guest speakers come in, talk about like, their area of expertise, their journey, where they've been as men. No women. Sorry about that, but no women. We don't record it. We don't, everything stays confidential so you can be real and authentic, say what you need to say and all. I've had men come in and go, never been involved in anything like this where I could just speak and not get harassed or say, you're a pussy or you're weak.
Right.
It's, you're going to get that brotherhood, that shoulder that you can lean on from the guy. So go in, follow me on LinkedIn, get it done, man. We'll
Get
have
it
some
done.
conversation.
And I think it's like I didn't recognize that I had this problem until it was way too late. I ended up leaving. My partner ended up leaving me. I lost a house. I lost a job, and I had to go through a very dark period of my life to get to where I'm right now. I always prefer the vitamin than the pain pill. And I am telling you right now, this is one of the greatest epidemics with men. So if you are a man and you don't think that you have this problem, you probably do. You probably do have this problem. You just don't realize it, okay? So I would have a conversation with him anyways, because you need friends. You need a brotherhood of guys that you can lean on during these times. And guys are going through something in society right now. I guarantee most of you need it. So whether you reach out to him or contact me and I'll put you in contact with him. Either way, I almost guarantee you need this. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh man, listen, my time. I appreciate you guys, having the platform where we can talk about this, because you're right. It's an epidemic for men. Nobody wants to look at it. Very few people are looking at it. I'm glad that you are, you guys are, but I mean, it is because men need somewhere they can turn. And listen, it doesn't have to be me. I know a lot of guys out there that are doing stuff. Come to me. We'll get you with who you're comfortable with, but get with somebody, reach out. Join the brotherhood, man. We're here.
I love it. Join the brotherhood. You remember, your wife is not your therapist.
Or your mommy.
She's not going to take care of you. She's not going to make all the decisions for you. She's not going to lay your clothes out and iron your shirt and cook you breakfast and then also go to work and provide. No. Despite what the media tells you, it's not going to work out well, guys. So join a brotherhood like this guy.
Not at all. Well, I'm definitely going to reach out and connect. I put the information at the bottom of the screen because I want to make sure that this information
reaches the masses.
And definitely that we target some women here so that we can be part of this revolution.
Yeah, women, I can guide you to somebody. So reach out for that too. Okay?
Let's do it. And we're going to call somebody on now. All right. So let me shake your hand. Let's do some big hugs.
Oh man,
hang on, I love it. I love it.
Stacked up here.
Yeah, I know. Here, we'll do one of these.
Listen, man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Stay in touch.
Yes,
reach out.
absolutely.
All
Let's take a photo really quick.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man.
Thanks,
keep going.
buddy.
Keep going.
We're gonna keep rocking and rolling. We got a few more minutes here. It's all good. All right. As long as it doesn't fall.
Yeah, as long as.
All right. So I'm gonna call Jason. You guys are gonna be a part of this back and forth for a second because we only have a couple minutes left.
You guys know where you're headed next?
We're planning it right now. So if we could all right. So if you guys can just keep it rocking and rolling. Do we have any questions? I'm gonna call. You can hear this, right? How funny is this?
And I can keep us live for a little bit over the hour for sure until you find a home.
Hey, Jason, you're on the live stream right now. So who are we hopping onto next? Is Joy going to be joining us in office?
Well, first call someone on OWL.
Yes, you got it.
Patch them in. But
Done.
Cindy just left. Cindy just left our office, and she's coming to you. She's at the house.
Jason, you're on live stream right now.
I'm hearing myself talk. How funny is that? Okay, so is Joy gonna be like live streaming from her LinkedIn?
Yes.
Okay, she's already set up. I'm just waiting on the link.
Yeah, she's going to email you the link.
All right.
Pretty much. And Cindy Metzler is on her way.
All right, perfect. Well, I need that link in the next 5 minutes. I'll be looking at it for marketing at OWL, right?
Okay.
Like live streaming from her LinkedIn?
Yeah, she's going on StreamYard. Correct.
I promise I won't drop you.
All right, thanks, guys.
I got your
Put me
back.
on your television
Call someone
screen.
on OWL. Call
I
someone
got it. We're calling. All right, thank you for that. It sounds like they got quite
behind the
party
scenes of
going on over there.
the behind the scenes of what it takes to pull something like this off, right?
I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I love the opportunity too. All right, so I'm gonna move my camera a little bit closer. We're gonna now it's getting a little intimate because I don't have anybody. Well, actually, we have somebody that's gonna be joining us, so maybe I shouldn't mess with anything. Okay, so let's check the Owl app and see who is available right now. Who do we have here? Let's see. I'm just going by. Let's see. We did Gina. Huh. This guy looks interesting. So, actor podcaster. We're gonna try Paul. Let's see if we can get Paul on the call. Paul on the call. Paul on the call. Let's call Paul. Paul on the call. All right. While we're here, let's see if we get through with Paul. Paul Vato. He looks like an interesting guy. There we go. How you doing, Paul?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, bud. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So I am calling you, and you right now you are a part of a 25-hour live stream for Owl. How does it feel? You're on the hot seat. You're on the hot seat right now. How you feeling?
I'm feeling well. Thank you so much for including me.
Yes.
I was listening earlier. I don't know if you could tell who was in the audience or not, but I was hanging out with Stephen Kimbrough.
Oh, cool.
Who might be listening. So I wasn't on, but I was on because I was listening.
Now you're a featured guest. How does it feel to be a featured
Even
guest?
better.
Even better. Okay, so tell the audience a little bit about what you do. This is your an additional 5 minutes of fame. I'm sure you have a lot of fame already, but here's 5 more for you. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, today I'm being a man of leisure. I'm hanging out in Newport Beach, California.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
After coming to LA for an audition, and before anyone jumps on me for that, it was for a commercial audition. So we're still auditioning as far as commercials and commercial work. Obviously, I can't talk about or promote any of my acting gigs right now.
Fair.
But I am in the new season of Ted. I think I can tell you that much, which is if you ever saw the movie Ted with Seth MacFarlane's Ted.
It's got a whole ass season now?
Well, now it's a prequel.
Oh,
it's a prequel, which should be out on Peacock sometime this year. Hopefully, after the
That's
strike is
cool.
over, we can talk about it. So I just ended up sticking around California because I'm in Vegas normally, and it was 100 and I think we broke a record last Monday or Tuesday, hottest it's ever
Stop
been.
it.
Like
Hottest it's
120
ever
or
been.
something crazy.
Oh boy. Well, I
Hey, look at your mad skills multitasking here.
you guys enjoying this? Hey there, how you
That's
doing?
good. That looks good. Sit down. I'll let you know.
Right, there we go. Okay. I just want a little bit more of a close-up. I didn't work this hard in the gym and on my face to not have a close-up. There we go. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. So, Paul, kind of coming back to you, buddy. So, when it comes to auditioning, what do you feel are some of the most important things to make yourself stand out from all of your competition?
You know what? It's be yourself, because you never know what they're looking for, and you cannot outguess them. Like, oh, I think that this is what they want, so I think give them this.
What does it mean to be yourself? I love your answer, but I want to go a little deeper. What does it mean to be yourself?
Yeah, well, just put your angle on it, because only you can be you, and the reason they hire you is because of that. Now, it may get you more work, or it might. I was gonna say it might lose you work, but it's not. You're not going to lose it because it was never yours to begin with. Because there's been plenty of times where, and I think this comes with just being more comfortable in front of people. And now that we're getting back into the room with people, you just have to be comfortable in front of them. And again, it's just like not putting on an act, not acting really. It's just acting, but being yourself, so that they're like, yeah, this is the guy we want to work with. This is the person that's right for it. And I might end up booking something that they were looking for, something totally the opposite of me, or vice versa. I could go in there, be myself, and then they're like, you know what, we're going in a different direction.
This is
We're
like
gonna cast a female.
The reason why I asked the question the way I did is because me as a marketer, a part of my job is to explain things in the simplest form possible so that people can understand what makes an offer unique, right? So something like be yourself, I can get very in my head about it, and I think that people do struggle with that, right? So for me, being yourself means, the way that you talk to your dog when nobody's watching. That to
Right.
me is being yourself. That's like a way of putting it, giving a visual to it. You know, the way that you act, because like even with our parents, right? We still try to put on that best version of ourselves, especially if you had parents that were like, achievement based. With our
Sure.
partners, we still put that veil on because we have to be something around people. But the person your dog sees, that is just you, unadulterated, vulnerable, with no intentions or ambitions. We're just our silly selves. So when I started to lean into that on social media, or with my friendships or relationships, I found myself being less exhausted in my relationships, because when you're constantly trying to portray somebody else or constantly putting on a front, that will exhaust your energy. I know people that identify as introverts that are actually extroverts, but it was because they were putting on an act around everybody. They're like, I'm introverted, I need to go charge my batteries. It's like, no, bitch, you need to like stop putting on that veil of the individual you think you need to be. So is some of that
Yes.
resonating with you?
Yes. No, 100%. I mean, even the way we're both chatting with each other right now, I'm watching what I'm saying. I feel like, your voice
Always.
sounds very professional, but that's not the way you're going to talk to your dog. So I love the way you said that. I hadn't thought about it that way. I was always like, well, the way you act around your best friend, so maybe it's kind of in that same vein. But you're right. Even among, with my mom, I'm not going to let her know how I really am. She would hate me.
Right.
So.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. She'd be so mad
So,
at you. Are you Hispanic?
I am. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I'm Venezuelan. I'm Venezuelan Cuban. So it's like, for me, like the whole mom thing, it's like, oh, like if she knows that I didn't eat in the last hour, she's gonna lose her mind. So it's like things like that. It's like Latin moms, forget it. They're so anxious, at least in my experience. So
100%. I mean, I'm still a virgin. I don't drink. And
that's hilarious.
even though I
Yes.
own a cigar company, I don't smoke. And I live in Vegas, so I also don't gamble. Just
Oh,
so
of course
in case
not. No.
she's listening.
And you are the only one that doesn't do any of these things. All your friends are horrible influences on you, but it's not you. It's definitely you're
Right.
not the one instigating anything ever. So yes,
100%.
that is
You know
hilarious.
me.
Right.
Tú
I
sabes,
see
tú
you. I
sabes.
see your authentic self.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
how can people reach out to you? Is there anything that, provide value to your audience? Like, I understand that this is kind of what you're doing, but how can you provide your essence to the universe? Do you have an offer? Is there something that you're putting out there right now?
Sure. I mean, obviously on OWL, you can always reach out to me. I'm on OWL, but the easiest way is if you go to paulvato.com, PAULVATO. That's my stage name, Paul Vato.
Easy to spell.
Because I'm a
guys.
dancer as well. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
nice.
I'm an actor, and Paul Rodriguez is my real name, but there's already a Paul Rodriguez who's a comic and a skateboarder. So paulvato.com, and from there you can find all my offers. Which I wrote a book called La Kama Sucia, which is
I
a parody
like it.
of the Kama Sutra.
Right.
It's available at vato.tv. But again, if you go to
Kama
paulvato.com,
Sucia. That's
La
hilarious.
Kama Sucia. Thank you. It's dirty, so but don't
Right.
tell my mom I wrote it.
You didn't write it. You had a ghostwriter. You don't think these thoughts.
Yeah, the ghostwriter's name is Doherty Sanchez.
There we
and the other
go.
one is Phil T. Sanchez. So yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I'm catching my words here. All right, Paul. Well, it was great talking to you, buddy. Thank you for chiming in. We'll catch you later. All right.
It was my absolute pleasure. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you guys so much, and have a great 25 hours. I'll be tuning in.
Oh, thank you. I think we got 21 more. So there we go.
21 more. That's it.
21
All right,
more.
take
All
care.
right. Take care, guys. Take care, buddy.
All right. Gracias. Thank you. Bye.
Gracias. All right, guys. So we're rocking and rolling. So right now we have Joy McAdams that is next up. She is figuring out her thing, and hopefully we can hop in a few, because we can't go over 4 hours. It cuts off at 4 hours. So what are we up to
It
now?
does, but you've got some cushion because we started on my channel. That was 1 hour, and then we jumped over to Brian's, which gave us an extra hour. So we're not. I am not going to be the reason. Brian Schulman is not going to be the reason that you don't get 25 continuous hours.
Yes! Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, that's like
I'm not going down as in the history books as that girl.
it's a rule. It's just the standard that we have to set. We don't want anybody calling us out. Hey, you guys actually did 24 and a half hours. This is legit authentic. And thank you so much for providing your stream to us and being here and being active. Like it never ceases to amaze me the kind of support that LinkedIn as a community, comes through and supports and is you could be doing anything else on your Friday afternoon. So I'm super grateful for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Jason called me and said we need some place to be in 45 minutes, and brought it to Brian, and we rearranged our day the best we could so that we could be here to support
you guys
you, to
are the
support
best.
Jason, to support OWWL. So everybody that I pushed your phone call, thanks for the grace.
Yes, thank you.
But you guys are doing good work here, and you're right. It is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a special place. My other social media is like the stepchild, because LinkedIn has a community that's different from any other. And I love LinkedIn because you're meeting people right where you're at in this moment, right? When you connect, it's not reconnecting to someone you knew in high school or an old boss who sees you a certain way. And the community is really looking to support and help one another. There is a genuine desire to see people succeed.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And thank you. Thank you for being so supportive. And you're absolutely right about LinkedIn. It is, we can have a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn. It's almost like I almost equate it to living in Miami. It's just like well, it's actually the reverse of Miami. Like I love the location, I hate the people. I love the people on LinkedIn, I hate the location. I call LinkedIn like the Internet Explorer of social media. It's very slow to innovate. It's kind of like falling apart. They're both owned by Microsoft, and like aesthetically, it's not the most beautiful, but man, the people that are on the platform are some of the most incredible that you'll find anywhere. So yeah, like I'm very grateful. While we're here, we might as well address it. Why are we doing a 25-hour live stream? I'm sure there's people joining us now, or some people that are new to to the stream and wondering why we're doing this in the first place. As a digital marketer, and I'd love to hear both of your perspectives, if this kind of resonates with you as a marketer. We don't really care as a society as much about like the flash and flexing the nice cars and the mansions and all that stuff. That kind of content has gone away. It just doesn't resonate with an audience anymore. But when I was kind of crafting the first 24-hour live stream and now the 25-hour live stream, I've always been fascinated by people that overcome insurmountable obstacles. People that can overcome, that is what people pay attention to. Here's a challenge, and it sounds like an impossible challenge, and then being able to watch somebody overcome that is so powerful. It is so powerful, and it's a great way to capture people's attention, because it's almost like when you watch a video and it's like a recipe, right? Or you watch somebody start painting on social media. You want to see what the finished product looks like. Is this person going to be able to hang on for this long? But it really also has to do a lot with the way that we live out our lives, or like watching a movie. If the hero in the story does not go through some kind of insurmountable challenge, if Luke from Star Wars stayed a farm boy for the entire story, why would we watch it? Or if Luke was already a Jedi from the beginning of the movie, why would we be invested in his journey, right? So a lot of times, those like impossible challenges are so great at capturing people's attention. And as we're trying to build and develop OWL, this is why I pitched it to Jason. I was like, listen, this is something that's never been done before. That sounds like an exciting opportunity to really capture attention and build a community around this thing. So any thoughts from you guys?
Yeah, like I said, I think as humans, we truly want to see one another succeed. And one of the things that I hold on to and remind people of is, as you're journeying, there's always someone, quote unquote, ahead of you to look to for inspiration. But there's also someone who hasn't yet been where you are that is going to look to you for inspiration. So sharing all of the journey, the struggle, it's relatable, but it's also valuable. And it allows us to connect on a human level. And I think people, like you said, are shifting to the human behind the profile, behind the sales pitch. Don't come sell me. I think that we are more invested in one another in a more authentic way. And when you show the struggles, we can say, oh my gosh, I know where you've been and I can support you, or I can cheer for you the entire way. And it makes both of us feel good.
I love that. I love that. A little bit of vicarious living, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
She said it. She said it perfectly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, she has always got the greatest words. So I think, look, it's the heart of it all that matters. The last handful of years have really done a number on all of us. And the more genuine, authentic, and real we are, the more opportunities to bring people together as a community and to be real with one another in those experiences, in those struggles, in those triumphs. The more we learn and grow and just become stronger. So I love what you guys are doing. I love what Jason is doing. Any opportunities to bring people together, we are all about it, and we're just happy to be able to be here and support. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I
will
appreciate
say
it.
the hashtag Radiating Real campaign was all about inviting people to show up as they are, take off that mask, like you guys were just talking about earlier, being authentic and real. And so hashtag Radiating Real was space created when I started that hashtag for us to show up as we are in any given moment. When you were asking earlier, what does it mean to be yourself? To me, it's showing up as you are in any given moment. And what you're doing, what a lot of creators are doing, what we do is create that brave space. We're entering into it together. It's not, okay, here's a space for you to get vulnerable. It's here, we're all going to get vulnerable together. And that's how we grow and that's how we connect.
And it's so interesting because, like, when you show up as your authentic self, it doesn't matter if you're broke. It doesn't matter if you're a shitty human. It doesn't matter. Like, even the act of being that vulnerable will force you to kind of make that decision. It's like, listen, if I'm a shitty person and I own it, here's an opportunity for growth, because I'm not going to be able to trek on this earth and survive unless I go within and change these things about myself. Or if you're broke, just owning that, well, now I have an opportunity to do something about it, as opposed to just putting on this facade that I'm not broke. And I've just found that even if I am not in the greatest headspace, even if I am not doing the best, but I embody authentically who I am in that moment, it leads to some of the most beautiful growth. But you have to own it first. And I just find like that is so important, like as you go on your journey.
I would say, you're saying, even if I'm not in the best space, it's especially when you're not in the best space, especially when you're broken or feeling broken. I think it's everything we're saying wrapped up, right? You have to show up. You have to show up authentically. You have to be aware and own who you are if you're going to be giving to others.
Absolutely. I love that. You have a way with words. Thank you.
She does.
Let's ask some questions to the audience. Like, while we're waiting for Joy to come through, I'm going to check one more time, see if Joy is coming through. And we'll call Jason in 2 minutes if I haven't heard back. Let's see.
Let's
Okay.
see. I have an offer from Aaron Gibson. He can do it. It wouldn't be right now. It would be after his show. So if you need something.
Yeah. That works. That sounds great. Just give me a quick second. Sorry. Okay, yes. I am still waiting for the link. Oh, you have the link? Okay, fantastic. So if you guys can just hold us for a second, we're gonna switch over. We're gonna get it ready. All right.
We got you.
We got you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for holding the fort down over here with me.
All right, it's the masterful transition between one and the other. It's like we should drum roll, please. Everybody, bite your nails, hold your breath. Let's see what's gonna happen. Will he pull it off? Will he pull it off?
Hey, I just want to send some love out there to the Positive Vibe Tribe. We love you. We miss you. We appreciate you. You're always in our hearts. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you for showing up. Yeah, this is an incredible undertaking. And, when you get the call that you can support something like this, it's an honor and a privilege. So we decided we were going to do what we could do and support the ways we can support. And honestly, Positive Vibe Tribe, that's exactly what you do. And all of you out there on LinkedIn, you don't even know the people you're supporting by showing up. So keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing. Connect on OWL with people. You've got experts there, such wisdom. You've heard people talk in the last 3 hours. I know I have been incredibly inspired and have learned a ton. So inviting you guys to do the same over on OWL. Let's see. We got those are the questions. Sam, hi Sam. Okay, let's do that. We can give out that award, right?
There you go.
Let's do that. Tracy, I'm in trouble with LinkedIn Mobile. I don't have an answer to that one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a love-hate relationship with that sometimes.
Yes. So it's great having you guys all here. I know that I'm assuming that once thank you so much. We love you. We so appreciate you showing up. Hello to one another. He's driving. Let's see. You let us know when she's live on Joy McAdams' channel. I guess he'll sit back down in the studio. Oh,
Gabe.
congratulations on your
Congratulations.
retirement.
Well done.
Gabe is one of those people who has given so much on LinkedIn and helped so many people. He's had more than one live show, keeps coming back. And I'm glad to hear that you have found something that's, the next step for fulfilling and chasing your joy.
Yeah. I want to give I think it was Kelsey. Was it Kelsey or Teresa? Who's eating Honey Nut Cheerios? I think it was.
I think it was Teresa.
It was Teresa.
Kelsey's driving or on mobile. I don't know.
I mean, you can eat Honey Nut Cheerios wherever you are.
This is true.
But
I'm waiting for Kelsey's montage. What did you call it? It was silly selfie compilation. That's what I'm waiting for. Yes, because she hasn't made
silly selfie compilation.
Say that 10 times fast. She has
I'm
not.
not gonna try.
She's not made her
It was Kelsey.
video yet. Yeah. So we negotiated.
Oh, awesome.
And so we're going with
live negotiations.
Silly. Well, it isn't in the comments, but yeah.
Okay.
It was a silly selfie compilation is the start.
There we go. Good stuff. She was driving to get cereal.
Oh,
fabulous.
See,
there you go.
I got you both. I switched you. I gave you each other's roles. There you go.
Yeah, we're all about making people hungry, and mission accomplished. You've been inspired. You've gotten hungry. You've eaten Cheerios.
You've been seen, heard, loved, and valued.
There you go. Have a great night.
You've done some learning. You've done some learning. All right, you guys, I asked the questions earlier, so I might as well ask them of you. Tell us in the comments, what's your favorite color? Yes. And then tell us your favorite cartoon and cereal when you were growing up.
There you go.
We're going to inspire some more cravings here, hopefully.
Yeah.
We had a Captain Brunch.
Captain Brunch.
Yeah, maybe I got up late. You don't know.
You go. I mean, you can eat cereal whenever you want, but the Crunch Berries, though.
Right,
We're talking about Crunch
Berries. And
now,
we had the debate.
Weren't the Crunch Berries the ones it was like OG and then the berries were in it with it, right? Now, when you ate Crunch Berries, if you did.
At one point, I think they took and made just Crunch Berry cereal.
That was a special edition. Yeah, I remember that.
Welcome to our cereal conference.
Thank you.
Why do we know so much about cereal? Yes.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So no, you're good.
Kelsey's.
Make sure you keep your eyes open while you're driving.
I was the.
No, that was Teresa.
Kelsey is the one.
Can you guys get together? We're gonna blow your name together so that
come up with a mash.
Yeah, Clarissa.
Clarissa.
I don't know.
I was the little sister who didn't get any of the sugar cereal because my brother would take like the hugest pot my mom had and pour the entire box in with milk, and it was milk after. I was left to make my own sugar cereal, which was I took the Rice Krispies and the entire sugar bowl and dumped those in. And at the bottom, there's this amazing sugar sludge. You guys know what I'm talking about, like that wet sugar at the bottom.
Yes.
So I think
I'm gonna go get some cereal and a bowl of sugar. Thank you.
I think my way was better than his, actually. I think in the end. And then another one. When you have Cocoa Krispies or anything cocoa.
Very serious, Nancy Deborah.
I know. I'm serious about my cereal. This is nothing new.
No.
I would eat that and try not to take milk with the cereal, because then I would dump the Frosted Flakes into the cocoa, like the chocolate. Yeah, the chocolate milk.
Oh, what?
Yeah, genius. It's a good thing I
Breaking
use it
news.
for good, not evil, right?
Not evil. Okay, we have colors happening here. So Teresa, black is her favorite color. Awesome. Sam likes turquoise. I would have said that. Just a guess. And we got cereal happening. Yeah, so Teresa, generic cereal, Yep. So that was your favorite generic with no sugar. Okay, there
But
you
what
go.
was it the generic of?
It was well, it was Cheerios,
Oh,
right?
is it? I don't know. Maybe she was eating Cheerios because she had them, but they may not have been her favorite.
See,
Being
now
heart
I
healthy.
remember when the Cheerios got bought, and by accident, although it probably wasn't an accident, it felt like an accident to me. They were not Honey Nut Cheerios, and so you had to do the whole like you did with Rice Krispies, dump the sugar in the bowl, and sugary sludge at the end is great. But that's awesome. Your favorite color is
It's
green.
green.
Okay,
I love
there,
green.
yeah,
I'm a
green is
blue
great.
girl.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch and SpongeBob. Yeah, oh, hella basic. Like
Come
that's
on,
good stuff right there.
You're an OG. That's all it is.
There you go. That's what it is.
I'm a Bugs Bunny and
Yes.
Fruit Loops.
Yes. Bugs Bunny and Fruit Loops. There you go. All right. I mean, I will say I am.
Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we got you.
We got you. Okay, we're having some little tech issues over here with
Hey, it's all good.
Restream. So thank you so much for being patient, guys.
They've been great. We've been talking
We're just
about
making
their
everybody hungry and
their favorite cereal and cartoon growing up. So
yeah.
Okay. What was all yours favorite cartoon? I got to hear this.
I am. If I have to pick one, it's Looney Tunes. If I get
Looney
another one,
Tunes.
I would add Fraggle Rock and Winnie the Pooh. But my favorite cereal is Fruit Loops. Was and is Fruit Loops.
All right, now I heard old school 80s WWF references earlier. So I'm going to tell you, like, I used to wake up Saturday morning early and jump in front of the TV watching, like, Junkyard Dog and Hulk Hogan and Jimmy the Rocket Steamboat.
Okay, so yes. So are you familiar with Superfly Jimmy Snuka?
Of course.
That he was my trainer when I was starting out, like in wrestling. So I don't
Get out.
Did you guys know I was a pro wrestler? Or no.
I
had no idea.
I was a professional wrestler for 6 years. I was on WWE. You think I get all this charisma and I got all this hair
Get
and
outta
muscles and
here.
stuff? Yes. Yeah, you guys can literally go on YouTube right now and search Y2J 2007. I was Chris Jericho.
All right, we're getting
Write
right
it
there.
down. I gotta put it in the comments for you.
Yeah. So that's
Y2J.
Y2J. So that's Chris Jericho. He was actually this is when I learned about manifesting and how real it is. So growing up, I was chubby, I was short, I had a bunch of acne, I wasn't very confident. We got it. Yeah, Jason's calling right now. So I was not very confident as a kid, and I saw these heroes on television. I was like, man, if I could just embody what they are, I would have everything that I need to be a complete person, right? So when I turned 18, right after Bible camp, I joined the circus and started wrestling training in Superfly. He lived in South Florida, so he was my trainer. He smelled like peanut butter and cigarettes and had all broken toes, and he was a little bit of a mess of a man, but didn't matter because he knew how to get in. So Pat Patterson, he was actually the original Intercontinental Champion. He took one look at me and he was like, man, that boy's cute. He was a little questionable himself, but he was like, I like that one right there. And so I got recruited and I got signed to a developmental contract, and I only had 2 months of wrestling training. But I told him I'd been doing it for years.
There you go. You figure
That's
it
the key to
out.
life. I was like, I started since I was 16. I know what I'm doing over
You
here.
know what I'm
So, I was on television literally 2 months into my training, and what happened is that Chris Jericho was on a 2-year hiatus. He hadn't been wrestling for 2 years, and everybody thought that he was retiring at the time. And they told me, hey, you're going to be working with somebody, but it's a big surprise return, what have you. And it ended up being my childhood hero. I got goosebumps right now. It ended up being my childhood hero. He taps me on the shoulder and he's like, listen, Junior, you're going to take the clothesline, the hard way, which means he's laying it in, because he didn't know me, from anybody else. He's like, you're a young rookie, so I'm going to have to lay it in, brother. Going to give you the old potato. And I was like, all right, I'm here for it. So I took a clothesline, bumped on the concrete. You can watch the video. It's there. And that was how I started my wrestling career. So my character I was the torch runner. So Randy Orton at the time was the champion. And every time he would be like, he was doing a passing of the torch ceremony, I'd run with a torch and I would never make it to the ring. I would get choke slam, clothesline.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so I had a little bit of a WWE career, and then I got into forensic accounting. I don't know how or why, but from there,
I mean, what else would you do coming from wrestling? I mean,
it's a natural transition. I think that's what most wrestlers do when they retire, right?
Yeah.
Pro wrestling, auditing, performing as an influencer. I mean, I just feel
There
like
you go.
it's a very logical transition that we're going through.
Absolutely. It's
Absolutely.
listen at home, kids. If you want to be successful, follow his path.
That's right.
You know, I know you don't have the time right now, but at some point, could you explain the alliteration that is used in wrestling? Why everybody has to have a name that starts and has multiple names, and they all have to start with the same letter?
Yes. That
Right.
is McMahon's marketing. You know, Vince McMahon is a brilliant promoter, and it's like music to the ears. And like that's why we use alliteration in every kind of marketing, right? It's music to the ears. It just sounds nice. It's very marketable. It's very easy to sell, right? And it's just time and time again that they do the same thing. And it just works. It's as important as the entrance music because, like, again, the entrance music, the package, the presentation, the pageantry. That's what wrestling is really about. It just happens to be wrestling. That just happens to be the mechanism. The wrestling is almost immaterial in the process. It's about the presentation, the pageantry, the storylines. It's male soap opera. That's the beauty.
Right.
Yes. Wow.
That's it. That's exactly it. It was what was happening outside of the ring that hooked everybody.
Right, and it's just it just plays into our the male side of us that just wants the combat. You know, it's just like we need, and honestly, like pro wrestlers, there's no off season, right? Like it's year long, year round that they are performing. There's no off season, so those guys, you know, they actually do go through a lot. You know, their bodies go through a lot. Like I'm 34 years old, but I got the back of a 50-something-year-old from all the bumps and stuff. So yeah, it was quite the career. So hopefully we'll be getting started in a couple of quick moments. Let's see. I'm gonna text Jason to check to see.
He
We're just having
messaged me
some
anything.
challenges from the stream.
Check in with
Thank you
Jason
so much
time.
for hanging with us, guys. Okay, so what were some of the cartoons that you guys were saying? So Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is a great one. Was it Merry Melodies? Is that where it started?
Yeah, I don't know where it started, but I was a big Bugs Bunny fan, and my brother and I had a lot of the Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck dialogues.
Really? Were you the Daffy Duck or were you the Bugs?
Yeah, it went back and forth, but I'm pretty sure even when I thought I was Bugs Bunny, I was Daffy Duck. So my brother and I would do them from across the house, like when we were supposed to go to sleep. So, you know, someone would scream, "Would you like to shoot him now or wait till you get home?" Which would be responded to, "Shoot him now, shoot him now." And we go through the whole routine. My mom would be like, "Just go to sleep." But we had the routines, and that was one of our things, is we would just go through all of them.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I love that. I found myself when it came to like my brothers, it was more like a Road Runner and Wile E. Coyote type of dynamic. I always thought that I was like way smarter and I had more of like the tech background, and then my little brother was just fast. He'd be fast to run into my mother for whatever like hijinks I was creating. But yeah, more of that dynamic. But I love the Looney Tunes, and it's so interesting how those dynamics. It like what's great about those types of cartoons is it doesn't matter what language they're in. You can literally watch it just with the music and the sound off. It's like like it's just content that just resonates, you know. So I love that kind of stuff, especially Looney Tunes. You can't beat that. But yeah, like love that. And other stuff from your childhood. What else resonates with you guys? What else resonated? What else?
On a smaller scale, fireflies. I grew up in New York, and in the summer we would have Rockland County. It's across from Westchester County. We're sort of the sleepy side of the Hudson. So we would go out and catch fireflies in the summer, and it was just such a fun thing to do. And so like it just felt so free and so excited about doing it. And you know, he's like catching them in your hand and then releasing them for a minute and just being in their glow. You know, it's sort of that piece of that. Also for me is like the ice cream truck.
Oh my gosh. Ice cream!
Yeah,
What was your go-tos?
Big Sticks.
Strawberry
Big
shortcake. Yeah, and good humor for
What was
for
it?
all.
What was it?
Mine was strawberry shortcake. You know, the one that had like the crunchy on the
Yeah, it was, like,
outside.
pink and
It was pink in the middle, and then it had white ice cream and the crunchies on the outside.
I am very familiar with that. I can actually. Okay, but here's the question: what's more memorable for you, the taste of that or the popsicle stick?
Oh, the shaved ice spoon, the wood shaved ice spoon. Remember, you used to get the Italian ice, and you had to eat that whole thing with
Oh
a
my
wooden
gosh,
spoon.
yeah.
And
Oh,
the spoon's
Fun Dip.
always the last thing.
Oh,
I feel
Fun
like
Dip.
I can taste the wooden spoon. I could taste the popsicle stick so much more than I can remember. what the
Oh
Right,
my
right, right.
gosh.
like, yeah.
Yeah, Fun Dip. Fun Dip was great.
Who decided to give that to kids? It's
Yeah, yeah.
sugar.
I'm
It's
serious. Well,
powdered
Pixie Sticks, Fun Dip,
but this is powdered
Pop
sugar.
Rocks. I mean,
Powdered sugar that you eat with a sugar stick.
right.
Like, at least Pop Rocks is just sugar, or Pixie
Right.
Sticks
Well,
is just the sugar. This
there's
is
a
the
reason
added.
why the ice cream truck came to camp. It's like you're already running around all sugared up.
Let's see, Kelsey with
Choco Taco.
Choco Choco. That was another good one.
There you go.
I loved what's it called? Like anytime it was like character themed. Like
Yes.
but it never looked like the plastic cover.
They always had like some weird.
It always
melted
looked like
things.
mutilated mutant version of whatever the cartoon was supposed to be. And that's something about marketing, man. It's like marketing has its way of like presenting a great product, and then when you actually get the thing, it's nothing like it. Even like how many times have like you only need to eat a Big Mac once to be like, hey, this does not look nearly as impressive as this ad. And it's interesting, right? Like they don't even use the real food in the ads.
Kelsey.
What's Kelsey saying in the comments? Is Kelsey what is I can't read the comments?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Kelsey says
John likes the taste of wood.
Well, anything. It's like the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase says, everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price, guys. And you know what? Like, are you familiar with $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase?
Yes.
Did you know this about Ted DiBiase? Ted DiBiase is actually based on Vince McMahon. So they literally took his mannerisms and what he said and created a character around how Vince McMahon is as a person, which I thought was hilarious when I found that out. And it makes so much sense. The guy would just so he has this thing that he can't be around people that sneeze. Like if somebody was like literally if you like sneeze in his presence, like where he can hear you, you would automatically be fired. It didn't matter what role you were in. If you sneezed around him, you were automatically fired. And I
wonder if they ever did like a group sneeze, like all at once.
Oh.
Just you want to fire off it?
To rib him. I think like if there's one thing you never mess with the money man. I personally would never have the guts to mess with a boss like that because it's like, man, this guy literally. I have a dream a dream career of a lifetime. I'd rather not lose this just for a sneeze. But hey, somebody must have done it. We just haven't heard it yet. And the
There you go.
Are you familiar with
I have a bit of a mischievous side. I like to test the boundaries.
Yeah, just push the limits a little bit. So the Undertaker, he had this irrational fear of cucumbers. It was just
cucumbers,
the smell, the look, whatever. So guys in the back would screw with him. And, put cucumbers.
I'm surprised nobody ever took one into the ring. Like that's
kryptonite. They'd put cucumbers in his gym bag to see the way that he would react. And he would just throw up on the spot. And you have this 6'10", 340-pound man just throwing up at the sight of a cucumber. It's just so funny how these people are.
Hashtag crippled by a cucumber.
Love it. You need to send that to him. Make it a thing. Hashtag crippled by a cucumber.
Oh my God. All right, hey, in the comments, what are your irrational fears?
Right. Hashtag.
All right, so let's see okay, so we'll hop in a couple of minutes, guys. Sorry. Worst comes to worst, we'll hop on my stream. We always have that one open. So, irrational fears. Why don't we talk about that? I'll start. Irrational fear that I have. What's an irrational fear?
I have one.
You have one?
I have one, yeah.
If you already have one lined up, then I can kind of think about it. Yeah.
Mine is vomiting. It's like, I know it's not going to kill me. Nobody likes it, but I will fight it. Like, there's a story of when I was in kindergarten and my neighbor sat with me in the bathroom for 7 hours. And she's like, just throw up. You'll feel better. Just throw up. And I wouldn't. I wouldn't open my mouth. I fought, even though I know it's not going to kill me, even as an adult, it's unpleasant. I wouldn't do it for fun, but it's not going to kill me. So the level of fear I have around it is completely irrational.
Oh my God. Yeah. I will hold it, but it's more so because I remember going to a music festival with Shay and we had these friends and we went with them one time and he threw up, and like he threw up in the Uber, and I was like, dude, like we're revoking your man card. You can't throw up like a baby. Like he just like spit up like a baby. We had taken some substances, extracurricular substances, and he just like threw up like a baby. It's just like kind of like that puke. It's just like, and it's like, man card revoked. You're not allowed anymore. So I feel like as a man, it's just like I can't. I will hold it. I will swallow. I will put my head back. I will do whatever it takes. I ain't throwing up.
Yeah, Kelsey, you on that?
Kelsey, I know your comments coming on that one.
Like you know what's funny? We did all of this work to like get away from toxic masculinity, and we go right back to it. Okay,
is.
Brian, what's your irrational fear? Do you have one?
I was trying to think about that. I mean, I completely get the whole throwing up thing, because it's like you feel it coming, you start salivating, you're like, I can't do this, but you're like, I know I'm going to feel so much better after it. You hold on to that as long as you can, and then it happens, and you're like, my head hurts, but I feel so much better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it makes I get your own fear. That's what she said. Yeah, I got to put some thought to that. I mean, I was never a fan of roller coasters.
I was about to say that decapitation on roller coasters.
Yeah,
My irrational
gosh,
fear.
I mean,
Decapitation. It's like the roller coaster could have nothing above it, but for some reason, I am so afraid that I'm going to hit my pole on the head and I'm going to be decapitated. Maybe it happened in a past life. I don't know, but like, really nothing else. The home that I owned recently, it was on a lake. And across the street was a cemetery. I don't have a problem with the paranormal. I actually embrace it. I love it. But there was a cemetery across the street from my house. And when I say across the street, I mean on the other side of the road. So literally, when I was in my office, which was downstairs, rare for Orlando, when I was downstairs, I was at the same level as the bodies underground across the street. Super fascinating, right? And what was really cool is 16 people had died in the lake. And when I say it's a lake, it's like 16 people had died in the pond that our house was on. So there was always this belief, this feeling like, man, there is something very strange about this house. And the story of the original owners of the house that we owned actually died. Not both. Well, they did both die, but here was the story. So the original owners of the house, this is documented. You guys can search it if you want. Orlando Sentinel. So the original homeowners, it was a husband and a wife and 3 kids. So the husband got cancer, died. He got buried in the cemetery across the street from my house. And the wife basically fell into a depression in the 50s because now she's taking care of the household and finances, whatever. So she drowned herself in the lake on the other side. So basically the house is the intermediary between the couple, right?
Okay, this is like Poltergeist and Jason all happening at once. Like
you're like
and
the
oldest son did not want to sell the house to us. So that's like the plot thickens, right?
Wow.
Have you found the bodies under the boards?
But
yet?
right, that's what I was literally about to say. Was there? You got a
like,
great deal on the house, I'm guessing, because
it was the house. You guys can check this. I probably shouldn't be sharing it, but the house was on Gore Street, literally. GORE.
They picked it up and moved it.
They changed it to Bahama Drive because they couldn't sell it on Gore Street with the backstory, right?
All right,
so anyways, that's the reason why the relationship didn't work out with me and Shay, because I think it had something to do with that. We bought that house together, and a couple of months after, it's like we were different people for some reason. But I will
There you
say,
go.
I think she was the one that was possessed. I got out all right.
All right, so I
just go with you guys. No,
I just thought of one for you.
Okay, go for it.
Sharks. So
Sharks?
I saw Jaws when I was a kid, and it paralyzed me forever.
Really?
I would jump into the deep end of the pool at our house and swim as fast as I could to the other side because I thought Jaws was going to come out of the drain.
That is fat. So this guy only does showers. He doesn't do baths.
Irrational fear.
Anywhere he can stand, he's good. Like a hot tub is okay.
For sure. I'll stand at the first part of the ocean, but getting me out, no. Scuba diving, not on your life.
No. It's like, and I hate to go here with it, and we'll wrap things up after this. I hate to go there, but it's like when I heard the whole story, and you guys don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but the whole submersible thing, when I heard that they were like sitting on the floor and there was no boards, and it's like, it's horrible what happened, but I would have been the first one to be like, guys, it's an Xbox controller. I just don't know if I feel comfortable with this. I'm sitting on the floor. This seems kind of suspicious. I don't know how you become a billionaire and make that judgment call, but God bless them. You know, I hope everything is well in the universe with that. But man, it's just like, I don't mess with the ocean. I'd rather be in space than in the deep ocean, because the ocean there's something ominous about it. It's just like there's a darkness to. I'm a Pisces. I don't know what you guys are, but I'm a fish.
Taurus.
Aquarius and oh, good combo. Nice. Okay, that's an intense combo though. You guys are move makers. So as a Pisces, I'm a little sensitive, but my ascending is Aries and my moon is Aries. That's my emotions, right? So I'm like a boiling fish to have a little bit of fire. But let me see if we can hop on. So if you guys can actually just keep things going with the stream, I will be right back. And thank you so much. You guys
We
are
got
rock.
you covered.
We'll make sure to get you a nice package for sticking around. We'll actually get you something from the raffle. We'll put you on that list. So thanks, guys. Let me see if we have the next one available.
You got it.
Kelsey, dude's okay with bath with friends, aka hot tub.
That's right. There you go.
Well, you know, because then maybe the shark will go after one of his friends instead of him. It makes
For
perfect
sure.
sense, right?
There's no room for a shark in that case, but
Because there was room for one in your pool.
well, I mean, the pool's a lot bigger. You could actually fit a shark in that pool. Okay. And that means it's
Oh
much
my
closer
God.
to me.
When I was in Florida with my parents, there was a story on the news about. Yeah, but
There's always a story on the news about a shark.
Look at it wasn't a shark, but look
Why
at
do I
how
look so
big my
big?
head looks. So
What?
But there was a 12-foot alligator that had to be removed from someone's backyard pool.
I'm sorry, what?
12-foot alligator
What?
removed from someone's backyard pool.
Right. So now when we happen to be online doing nothing but looking at property in Florida, and it says
No lake.
Right. No lake.
No graveyard.
Every time you see a lake, you're going to be like, oh, look, there's an alligator coming. I don't know what it means, but I'm a Taurus. Right on. Shout out to you, Taurus.
Taurus is the bull.
That's right. You're strong. You're stubborn. You got a huge heart. Shout out to Taurus.
And you have a nose ring.
I don't have a nose ring.
I know. You're not a true Taurus.
Okay. Shout out to that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know very little about Aquarius, but every time I'm told about Aquarius, I don't feel like it matches me at all, which is where the other level of astrology comes in, where John knows his ascending and all of that.
Aquarius. I always want to sing every time I hear the word Aquarius because it's the song. Kelsey's laughing. We appreciate that. We're glad we're here to entertain you. It's very important. We need to be laughing these days, much more.
Where's mine?
What are you looking at down there?
I have another level of entertainment if I can find it.
Your lipstick?
No.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for my thing. My
What does that
speak
mean?
out.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't.
It's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh
where it is.
man.
It's probably on the floor somewhere.
Well, in which case I don't.
Oh, no.
Hang on. Okay, you guys.
Here we go. All right, Kelsey, I want you to write a sentence in the comments that has like bees, right? Something with bees.
It's B's, P's, M's.
Speech
are good.
pathologist here.
Yeah, speech pathologist. And
Yeah.
that was in Florida.
That was in Florida, yeah.
So, okay, Kelsey, loaded with B's, P's, M's. It doesn't have to make sense. I will
Appreciate
check
you,
in
Aaron.
with them. Thank you, Aaron. But when you put it in there, I'm going to put this
Hang on.
lip retractor
Lip retractor. That's right.
in my mouth
We're gonna
and try and say whatever it is you say.
we're gonna play a quick game called Speak Out. So, oh, he's back.
You're talking to us.
Are you saying
We can't
something?
hear you. You're
No,
not.
we can't hear
All
you.
right. So this is called being yourself.
Right.
Jonathan, I think.
Yeah,
Exactly.
if you've ever been to the dentist, the orthodontist, you know they put these things in your mouth.
We're getting
Well,
ready to
then they
play
made a game out of it.
Jonathan, you're going to play Seek Out.
All right, so we're going over to Joy McAdams on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Yes,
Love you,
so,
Joy. Have a great rest of the
let me-
show.
Let me just go ahead. I'm going to share that link really quick. And Joy is a heavy hitter on LinkedIn. She is an absolute rock star, mom of 5, TEDx speaker. So let me go ahead. I'm going to share this link with all of you right now. We are on Brian's profile right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
All right, fantastic. So let me go ahead and send that link over. Are we still live? We are still live. Okay, so fantastic.
Yes, we are.
We've been going since 11 a.m. and we are still share this link with all of you right now.
There we
We
go.
are on
Double,
Brian's
double.
profile right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
All right, fantastic. So let me go ahead and send that link over. Are we still live? We are still live. Okay, so fantastic.
Yes, we are.
We've been going since 11 a.m. and we are still share this link. All right, guys. So I'm going to jump over to Joy right now. Ooh, that sounds kind of different.
Don't go anywhere, Kelsey. I'm going to read your sentence. Oh, we were going to do speak out.
Yeah.
Where you have to put something in the comments. Go ahead, put
All
it
right,
up. And
Joy
then I have to
Stills.
try and stay up.
That's
All right. So now I'm going to click over to you. Joy, are we live on yours right now?
Knees, he's, are, knees.
Yeah. Okay. So let me click out of Brian's and then we'll be right with you. And we're
All right,
introducing.
you guys.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Thank you for the support, guys.
You got it.
All right.
Absolutely. All right. Much love.
Mhm.
All right. So
Kelsey, you may have left already, but a promise is a promise.
it's true.
All right.
You ready?
Alright.
All right. If you've ever been to the dentist or the orthodontist, they put these things in your mouth. And you're like and the thing. And so they put that in. And now Nancy Dare was going to talk. And this is speak out.
He's, are, he's, knees.
There you go.
See?
Just
I
like
did
that.
it.
You did it. Yay.
Radiating real over here.
Kelsey said the music scared the crap out of me. Hey, we're here to keep you on your toes, really. I mean, if you're falling asleep, then I don't know.
Now you're falling asleep.
You're falling asleep. There you go.
Fact.
That's a fact.
All right, you guys, we're going to let you go so you can go follow on Joy McAdams' channel. It has been a pleasure and a privilege and a whole lot of fun being with you today.
Shout out to all you owls out there. Keep tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you all again very soon.
Hoot, hoot.
Hoot, 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 hoot,
Hoot,
hoot,
hoot. Hoot, hoot. Hoot, hoot.
Bye.
Hoot, hoot.